It's gonna be a light show today. Anybody out there listening at all? But it should be pretty fun. Breakman's gonna be here. Um, Mug is on assignment as well as Eric, but we should have a good time today. I'm gonna go ahead and start the show as soon as I can get my ducks in a row here. All right, hang on. And looks like I think I'm ready to go. Actually, I'll start at 1 because that's when we normally start. Well, 3 Eastern. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. All right, waiting for that 1 o'clock, and there we go. Here we go.
Go, 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 shorty. It's your birthday. We gon' party like it's your birthday. We gon' sip Bacardi like it's your birthday. And you know we don't give a fuck, it's not your birthday. You'll find me in the club, bottle full of bub. Look, mommy, I got the X, I'm getting to taking drugs.
And welcome, everybody, to episode 456 of RPGrinders. I'm your host, Frank Branches, alongside nobody today. Well, at least for the start. Breakman's going to be a little late. He should pop in here in a few. Eric the Great is on assignment, and Mug is also on assignment. So I'm flying solo for the first time in a long time for the first part of the show. So why don't we just get to it? We'll just get the news knocked out, and we'll get right back to some other shenanigans like we always do here on the show. So without further ado, I am going to start the news. All right, coming to us, as Breakman would say, live from Siliconera, Hayaki Castle heading to the PC. New 3D dungeon crawler has been announced for PCs. Asakusa Studios and HappyNet are working on Hayaki Castle. The game tasks people with making a party of characters inspired from ones from Japanese history and folklore, and sends them into a castle to find out why yokai are roaming about Hayaki Castle. It's set during the Edo period. There's a nifty little trailer. If you want to see it, feel free to go to Siliconera and check it out for Hayaki Castle. The screenshots that you can see on the screen here are pretty bland, I want to say. I do like the skeleton creature in the one picture, so I guess that's something to look forward to. God, I'm doing my stories in reverse order. That's what I get for not having Eric here. Huh? All right, hang on one second. Let me get to the other first story. Nihon Falcom is working on PS4 versions of Trails of Cold Steel 1 and 2, and I'm assuming that's for the PS4. Yeah, PS4 versions. It says in the debut issue for Sen no Kaseki magazine from Dengeki that was released this week, the publication sat down for an interview with Nihon Falcom president Toshihiro Kondo. During the interview, the president said the developer is working on PlayStation 4 versions of The Legend of Heroes, Trails of Cold Steel, and The Legend of Heroes Trails of Cold Steel 2. While no other details were shared during the discussion, he would only confirm the ports were currently under development, and we should hear about it soon. So, interesting. That's cool. I kind of like the Legend of Heroes series, to be honest. I'm glad that they're going to get some sort of treatment for the PS4. Maybe I'll one day revisit that. All right, let's go to the next story, to another game that I really, really like. Dragon's Crown 4 Pro for the PS4 leaked ahead of the TGS announcement. It seems that one of the Atlas announcements for TGS 2017 has been found prematurely, A banner on the publisher's Nico Nico livestream page shows an advertisement for Dragon's Crown Pro set to be released on the PlayStation 4, which has not been formally announced. Dragon's Crown, as I transition so you can see, you probably didn't see the previous screenshots. Oh, how lovely. My transition isn't going as well as I'd hoped. Okay, there we go. See if we can get you. There you go. Dragon's Crown is a side-scroller RPG developed by Vanillaware, which released back in 2013 for PS3 and Vita that we liked a lot over at RPG Site. RPG Site's a great site. If you guys like RPGs, check out their site for sure. They have a lot of good information. And most of the time, they're written a little bit better than Siliconaire and some of the bigger websites out there. Let's go on to the next story. I'm just blowing through these news stories, guys and gals. Are also from RPG Site. September 2017 Nintendo Direct. Nintendo had a pretty sizable Direct. And boy, oh boy, there's some good stuff in this one. And I'm going to give you all the RPG news, etc. Xenoblade Chronicles 2, massive 8-minute trailer was at that, and it looks amazing. I saw the trailer for it and the gameplay, and it looks every bit as good as Xenoblade Chronicles 1. We got Fire Emblem Warriors, a new gameplay trailer for the spin-off with some new screenshots. Looking good there. Lyn from Fire Emblem Blazing Blade will be playable in the game, and while not officially revealed, it seems like Kaeda from Fire Emblem Shadow Dragon will also be present. Game releases on October 20th. Project Octopath Traveler. That's a horrible name, but whatever. It's a 2D RPG made by the staff behind the Bravely series. On top of that, there's a demo available now, so get your hands on that. Dragon Quest Builders, one of the best games of 2016, is headed to the Switch in 2018. New to the Switch release, you'll be able to ride on top of a great saber cub in free build mode, allowing for a quicker world traversal. And then there's some screenshots of that, which I have not looked at the screenshots for the Switch version. I didn't get a chance to see those. Elder Scrolls V Skyrim, one of my favorite games of all time. I think I gave it, when it came out at the time of the year, the RPG of the Year. RPGrinders RPG of the Year award from me. I really loved what Skyrim had to offer there, and if I had the money, I might have to pick up a Switch just for that game, let alone all the other stuff that's coming out for Switch. So good news there. On the 3DS, Pokemon Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon. So there was a new trailer for the new Pokemon game. Thought it was pretty decent looking. And it says a special Pokeball 3DS will be available in November. I don't think that's a surprise there. Finally, if you purchase the eShop version of the original Pokemon Gold or Silver, will give you the player Celebi to use in any Pokemon Sun or Moon title. So that's a nice little bonus. The Alliance Alive. This is interesting. Atlas revealed a new game set to release in 2018 for Nintendo 3DS. This classic turn-based RPG features a scenario written by Yoshitaka Muyama, the creator of Suikoden. Masashi Hama... Oh boy, man, where's Breakman when you need him? Masashi Hamauzu is also on board as the game's composer. I probably butchered that, but and Mug will yell at me later for it. Radiant Historia, Perfect Chronology. Atlas also released a new English voice story trailer for the Radiant Historia's remaster, still set for early 2018. A special launch edition for the game comes with a special box and artwork. So that's not any major news there. Dungeon Buster, I see you're in there. Welcome. Let me know if you can hear me, buddy. I appreciate you joining. I'm running solo at the moment until um, you know we get some reinforcements here. Um, let's see. We got Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga and Bowser's Millions. Let's see if I can get Eric on the call. Um, let's see if we can get Eric. Eric's always fun to have discuss the latest and greatest. He's a really good reviewer. You guys should check out Eric's reviews on. There's a bunch of sites. Boston Bastard Brigade. You got. Oh man, he does stuff for VOG Network. He does stuff for um, just a plethora of sites. So that. Check out Eric's stuff, and you know, uh, make him happy. He works really hard to get those reviews for you, and he does really good written reviews. So, um, you know, it is what it is. All
Hey, what's
right.
up?
Hey, Eric has joined us. What's up, Eric? Just going over some of the RPG happenings at the Nintendo Direct. And we're talking about. Are you joining the show now, or are you
Yeah,
gonna?
as soon as I can figure out how to get the speaker working, I'll join you guys because I got some time until we go to the reception.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm the only one here at the moment. Breakman's gonna be a little late. I'm just blazing through the news, dude. So, we got Mario and Luigi's Superstar Saga and Bowser's Minions. Making a small appearance in the Nintendo Direct, Nintendo released new screenshots and some information regarding amiibo functionality for this 3DS remake. The game is out on October 6th. Superstar Saga was really good. I think I played that one. I did not play Bowser's Minions. Was that any good, Eric? I know you probably played it.
Um, that game isn't actually out yet, but I did play the original Superstar Saga. If that's what you're asking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Superstar
Yeah,
Saga, yeah.
yeah, I liked it, but the final boss is a little bit more difficult than it needed to be,
Mm,
and the music hasn't aged well. So I'm glad they're remastering the music.
yeah, yeah. Etrian Odyssey 5 Beyond the Myth. This is interesting. Set to release next month. Free demos now available. The Odyssey games are fucking hard, man. Like, I could not even pass the first one. The first one is so fucking hard. Uh, but it
Play on
should.
casual. That's what I did
Yeah.
for the untold versions, at least.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to revisit those games and play them again because man, they're super tough. Speaking of Etrian Odyssey 5, this comes to us from RPG site. Beyond the Myth demo now available. So you can play that game. Looks pretty decent from the screen that I see there. The Etrian games are fun, but they are a little difficult. Um, uh, that's how they go. Um,
They're
so yeah,
difficult enough that requires like grinding more than you'd probably do in an average RPG.
yeah, yeah, for sure. So yeah, it says it made a bit of a splash, announcing localization for the Alliance Alive and providing more details on Radiant Historia Perfect Chronology. And then this is interesting, Eric. Shin Megami Tensei Strange Journey redo. Um, I I like Strange Journey, so you know. Uh,
Maybe they'll make it less difficult.
it is. It's really hard. Strange Journey is a difficult game for sure.
It's not just difficult though; it's difficult in the way that the game was designed poorly that makes it difficult.
Yeah, 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 for sure, man. It's a tough game, but it's fun. I mean, I liked it. I like the premise of Strange Journey. It's a difficult game. All right, this next story comes to us from RPG site. Nintendo NES Classic Edition will return to stores in 2018. Um, how do you feel about these mini consoles, Eric? I'm kind of split on them. Like, on one hand, I want to get both of them. You know, the regular Nintendo one and the Super Famicom one. But is it worth it? Do you think it's
The
worth it?
NES one doesn't interest me at all because the games I'd want to play aren't on it,
Ah,
or they're like a version that I don't care about.
okay. What about the Super Nintendo one?
I'd consider only getting it just to play Star Fox 2, but people are probably going to dump the cart. But I have a feeling Nintendo's emulation will actually be pretty decent,
Yeah, yeah,
and it's kind of hard to find a good emulator and a good PC to run it on.
yeah. Well, do you know does it
And
have?
I'm sure somebody's going to hack the hell out of it, so you could put more games on there if you want.
Yeah, of course, that's how it always goes, and that's fine. I mean, you know, more power to people. Is
And
there?
hopefully I'll be able to get one
Yeah,
not long after launch.
yeah. Um, well, here's a question for you, Eric. Does it only have the 5 games on the front? Does it have Super Metroid by chance, or no?
It's got like 21 games on it.
Okay. I'm wondering if Super Metroid is.
I think it's one of the games.
Okay, then it would be worth it. Freak Five joined us in chat. What's up, Freak Five? We're gonna be shorthanded today.
It's
Eric,
like the price of what you would have paid for Final Fantasy VI when it released.
yeah, exactly. Holy shit! How much are they charging for that sucker?
$80.
Ooh, yeah, that's not too bad for all the games, but
Chrono Trigger was 90.
yeah. Ooh, wow. I remember that.
I
Yeah,
think
chat.
Phantasy Star 4, which is like comparable in terms of megs for the Mega Drive and the Genesis, was like I think it was like 60 or 70 instead.
Yeah, yeah. Well, I'm looking forward to that. If you get it, let me know, Eric, because I want to know if it's
There's so
worth.
much stuff coming out in October though. I kind of don't know if I could squeeze the money out for it.
Yeah, yeah. Breakman's gonna be late. Freak Five says.
Breakman broke his car, didn't he?
Yeah, no, I don't know what happened. Mug for sure has some stuff to get taken care of today, so he gets a pass for today. All right, let's do. I already did the last story first, Eric, so I'm going to go ahead and do this story. Square Enix, this comes to us from RPG site. Square Enix mobile game Grim Notes headed to America and Europe. Korean publisher Flero Games has announced that Square Enix mobile RPG Grim Notes will be localized to South Korea, America, and Europe, UK, France, and Germany. Grim Notes features a world where classic fairy tales like Little Red Riding Hood, Alice in Wonderland, and Aladdin and others appear. Since its release in Japan last year, Grim Notes has been downloaded 15 million times. Ooh, that's a juicy bit of tidbit of news from Squeenix, man. That's pretty cool.
You know what I'd like Squeenix to do? Port Final Fantasy Dimensions to the Switch.
Oh, yeah.
It's a 50-hour RPG that's on a mobile phone. Why?
Yeah. Let's see. Freak Five says it's a Saturday. Those are always slow days. And Breakman broke his clock. Yeah, he's like, fuck the grinders, man. I'm going to sleep for another hour or two after my alcohol binge yesterday. I don't know. We'll see. Breakman will be here soon. All right. I got one more story that I forgot to mention. Popa LaCroix, Narcia's Tears, and the Fairy's Flute revealed the Fairy's Flute. Oh my goodness, that's a horrible name for
The Fairy's
game.
Harmonica.
Yeah. Oh, how dare you, Eric? You had to. Yeah, that's it. I'm walking off, man. Exiled son of a bitch. Fairy's Flute, man, rebuilt for smartphones. We recently saw that Sega registered a trademark for what appeared to be a new entry in the Popa Lacrosse series. I think we reported on that. And it has been revealed as Popa Lacrosse Narcia's Tears and the Fairy's Flute for smartphones. The new smartphone game is said to take place 8 years after the beginning of it all. Features 3D graphics with plenty of battles, story volume, and events. We'll be hearing more about the game as we look forward to the teaser at the TGS 2017 show on September 23rd. Are you excited for TGS this year, Eric?
There usually isn't that many announcements that are Western bound, but in recent years, that's not been the case.
Yeah.
They actually had some U.S. releases announcements
Yeah,
there.
it's
So
starting to.
maybe.
Yeah, it's starting to filter in there. Freak Five says, "I'll call in and help you, Eric, if Frank throws a fit and walks off. You're exiled." Freak Five. I'm gonna get you nice and drunk today, man. You're fucking exiled. So that is
I'm going to
the.
be doing that later tonight, so I can't drink.
Yeah, yeah. No, don't do that, dude. Well, don't you drink, but don't drink too much where you're puking the next day.
Yeah.
All right. That's the news. A condensed
Pretty sure
version.
I had a hangover for the first half of the day.
Oh wow, that's some news. We need to hear that dirt. Maybe when you come back to us next week, we'll hear all about that bender you were on, man. Homie discounts looks like there's a Huni Sakura Humble Bundle, and
Yeah, it's still going on.
it's still going on.
Got like a couple more days on it.
Let me pull it up so I can tell you what you guys will be getting. Let's see if you paid. Let's do the $10 one. Let's see what you get. Sakura Dungeon, Sakura Saner, Sakura Santa, like Santa Claus. That one I might play. Um, Sakura Magical Girls, Sakura Shrine Girls, Space Nova, Swim Club, and Honey Pop. So
And
that's
that's in addition to all the other games, which I think are Honeycam and like
oh
Soccer
yeah, yeah,
Fans.
yeah. You get, and then you can pay like $1 or $2 more, and you'll get the Honey Pop OST. You'll get 10% off your first month of Humble Monthly, and you'll get Honeycam Studio OST. So you're getting some extra content for a couple extra bucks. So if you're into
And
that,
none of those games are erotic, except actually a couple of them are, but those are the Steam versions. But there are ways to get the content on there.
oh, okay, that's cool. Um, I'm totally down for those games. I
Just
don't
go
care.
into the community forums and they'll tell you probably.
I think there's a huge market for more adult oriented games than anything right now. I do think that we're breaking through that censorship barrier, and I think it'll slowly change for the better. Starting now. All right, that's the news and the homie discounts. Because homie plays that way in this show. Twitter, I can't see your Twitter comments, so we'll wait till break gets back. What have you been playing, Eric?
Well, it's not on the list, but other than Hakuoki and more East 8, actually, I haven't played that all week, but I did play Warriors All Stars.
Yeah.
And I played a little bit of East 8 for the Vita instead, so I wrote a review for that, and hopefully it'll be up on Totally GN by tomorrow.
That was the website I couldn't remember. TotallyGN.com. I was giving you some plugs earlier for your written reviews, Eric, and I couldn't remember the last one. I think it was, I mentioned the others, but TotallyGN.com, which is a pretty good site. Anything else you've been playing, Eric?
Yeah, I've been over like the couple hours of yesterday and some this morning. I played a little bit of Metroid Samus Returns.
Okay, cool. Right on. How was that? I heard Mug said it was actually really slick. So
Yeah, it's probably Mercury Steam's best game, but considering they had the direction of the original Japanese development team behind them, they probably made sure they didn't screw up too much.
Yeah.
The one thing I don't really like is that you have to use the analog stick for movement in a 2D game that kind of doesn't work, but it's okay. I mean, they've made it responsive enough that it doesn't feel weird, although some maneuvers are harder to pull off because of that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there were expected. I did expect some pains with that game, but it sounds like to me like another Metroid success. I think they almost always hit it out of the park with Metroid. I think they had that one terrible multiplayer game on the DS, I think it was, that wasn't very good. But all in all, that's a solid franchise. I wish they would do a little bit more with Metroid.
Although I do wish that Samus Returns gets an HD version on the Switch at some point in the future.
Yeah.
Because The 3D, while it looks good, it's I think the game could benefit from having a higher resolution.
Yeah, yeah. I agree. I'm really excited for the Switch, the new what is it, Prime 4 for the Switch, and that's where you're going to see the. I think that's a game where you're going to see part of the power of the Switch. So, looking forward
I'm
to that.
wondering how the Japanese development team is going to handle a first-person shooter.
I know that's an interesting thing to occur in that game, but I have faith. I think they can do good with that property and make things right. So all they have to do.
As long as they don't let Sakamoto do crazy crap and write terrible stories like Other
Yeah,
M.
yeah. Other M story was not good, but the game was fine. I liked the game quite a bit. All right. Anything else you've been playing, Eric?
Nah, I think that's actually it.
All right. I've been playing a little bit of MPQ. I got fairly excited. I got a new 5-star character, the newest one, Murdoch from Daredevil. So that was really cool. I enjoyed playing with the original Daredevil. I'm looking forward to getting some more covers for that. So that's pretty much what I've been playing this week. Reviews, Eric. Did you? I don't want to spoil it at all because I think it's one of those movies where, I mean, I don't think you can really spoil it. To be honest, you have the TV series as kind of a guide to take you through the movie It, but I will say that it's worth watching. I like the jump scares quite a bit, and that's something that I think added to the tension of this version as opposed to the other version. They changed a couple of things, but for the better, I think. So I highly
kind of like how Pennywise is kind of has that otherworldly movement to them.
Yeah, yeah. He did because if you remember from the book, he has didn't he have it like orange eyes in the book, Eric? Like he was
I don't know. I never read the book.
Yeah, I seem to remember like it was like dead eyes or something, but it was described as like orangish hue, orangish gray hue, I think. So I think they got that part for the most part right.
Also, I have a feeling that instead of a giant spider, it's still going to be a giant spider, but it's going to look more like a hell beast.
I agree, and I think that that's a good decision because CG has gotten so good nowadays, man. So
because before it was just some stupid puppet.
Yeah, that did not work. They didn't pull out all the stops for the first one, but I have full faith that the second half.
That's the difference between a TV series budget versus a movie budget, though.
Yeah, for sure. So we'll wait till next week when we get the whole crew on.
I will say though that I did not appreciate the beating of the black character. He's the only black character in the movie, and like considering recent events, I don't know if they should have done that.
It was an interesting thing to me too, Eric, but it's not that odd. The book kind of has it that way too, so. I did not mind that. I actually thought that they did a pretty good job of showing some character development with him. Actually, all the kids had a pretty decent.
It would have been nicer though if they had a little bit more diversity in the cast.
No, not in this case, Eric, because
I mean it is a book, and if you're trying to recreate the book, the characters in the book are the characters in the book, but still, it could have been nice.
You know what? In thinking about it, it may have been a little bit nicer because, like, we live in a society now that's supposed to be fully integrated, even though, we know that's not the case. But, yeah, that's a good point, Eric. I'd have to think on it a little bit more.
Also, wasn't the original series like, didn't they scale back the time scale a little bit? Like, instead of the 80s, wasn't it like more like the 70s?
No, it was the 50s.
50s?
Yeah. So, looks like Breakman's in chat, so Breakman will be joining us here real soon.
That'll be kind of interesting to see when they do part 2 and into like in the 2000s. 10s.
Yeah. It'll be much later, which is cool. They had to do that, Eric, because a 50 setting, a period piece probably wouldn't have worked with today's audience. I did like the casting of the one character with the glasses. I can't remember his name.
The Stranger Things kid.
Yeah, I like the fact that they put him in there because not only did he do a fantastic job with it.
The movie basically is Stranger Things.
Yeah, it pretty much is. No question about it, dude. Like 100%. So, yeah. So, it's I think it's an extraordinary remake, and I hardly ever say that about remakes.
I'm gonna give it a 9.5.
Yeah, I was gonna give it a 9. So yeah. So, but we'll do a more in-depth, review of it next week. So if you don't want to be spoiled, you can't really spoil this movie, I don't think.
Also, I'm gonna save my review of Castle Cagliostro until next week because I also want to check my disc set to see whether or not it has a different dub track.
Yeah,
and I also want to watch it in Japanese to compare the two tracks.
Yeah, no problem. So let me see if I can get Break on the line here. Let's see if he's ready to go. So yeah, it was it was a good movie.
Mind me doing a review of Annabelle, or should we save that for next week too?
Let's save that for next week, dude, when you're not on television.
I kind of want to review Annabelle as well, the original.
Oh yeah, you can do that. The original sucked. I did not like the original, but
do you need to watch Creations? Watch the original because I kind of just went and saw it.
No. If you remember, Annabelle came out before Creation, so it was like, But it was a very, very bland, boring horror movie. There was nothing scary about it. It wasn't. But I thought they kind of turned the formula on its head with the second one. I was pleasantly surprised.
It's almost like you could call it The Conjuring 2.5 though, because it had that vibe instead.
Yeah, well, which is fine because it shares the same universe, Eric. So all those like.
Also, I want to know is if it's the same demon or if it's like a vassal of that demon or something.
See, that's the thing. I mean, there's got to be something that ties all of these mysteries together. And I had somebody talk to me about the whole universe of James Wan. James Wan's The Conjuring, based on the Elizabeth Warren. Jesus, I'm already thinking politics. The Warrens. I was not a fan of the Warrens after reading extensively of how they fleeced people for money and exploited them. They're very exploitative, basically. But the movies I find very interesting and very good. I like Conjuring 1 and 2. I liked Insidious 1 and 3. I think 2 was the weak point of that one. Looking forward to Insidious 4. Of course, The Nun is coming up. Annabelle Creation.
Should I watch any of the Annabelle horror movies?
You mean Creation? Annabelle Creation?
No, Amityville.
Oh, Amityville. The original is worth taking a gander. It has some iconic moments. It's fairly scary. I remember I went back to it. It doesn't hold up too well. Just see the original. You can take a look at the remake. The remake is slightly better in some areas, slightly worse in some. It's kind of a mixed bag. But they're both worth a watch. They're decent decent horror movies, I would say. Or Amityville horror might be slightly overrated a bit, but
because I do know that they referenced that event in The Conjuring 2.
Yeah. So there's a lot of those references. The Warrens are full of great stories. They're just not very good people. Let's see. Freak5 says that listening to me two hours straight is his hell, and he says, luckily for him, someone lost their ticket to heaven, and I found it, so he is set. That's but see what you
Oh,
don't
I got
know.
enough heaven at the wedding. You don't need to talk about that stuff anymore.
Yeah. Hey, Freak Five, you might just might find that the ink on that when it gets fully dried is invisible ink. So just letting you know. All right. So we're not gonna really do reviews this week. I'll wait till break gets on. We'll do his what you've been playing and stuff like that. Do you have a stinko, Eric, by chance this week?
Um, I had some weird upper chest pain yesterday.
Ooh, dude, you need to get that shit checked out, man. Damn.
I don't really feel it now, so it was probably just muscular pain from all the
Ooh.
work I did over the week.
Yeah, it could be, dude. That sucks though. My stinko is Facebook, man. First of all, I'm not a fan of Facebook. I have a Facebook, but
Hey, Facebook or Zuckerberg or both?
probably both, dude, because um, Facebook took money from the Russians to fund ads, about $100,000 worth of ad
Mm.
time that they, and that's to me, uh, you can't really do that. I know they found the problem and they reported it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I think it's going to head down the road of regulating social media, and I'm not talking censorship because I don't want them to do that. But when you start accepting money from overseas for political ads, that's when it becomes a little dicey. I don't think any political ad needs to be on any social network. I really don't. I think it hurts more than helps anything. And usually those ads are very divisive anywhere, anyways. So I just don't think it. Social media is supposed to be fun and informative. And when you get commercials that are basically propaganda, it doesn't make
Facebook's where people go to complain about things. Twitter's the place you go if you want to see stupid memes.
Yeah, I like Twitter. Twitter's fun to me. I like Twitter, except for the bots on there. I wish they could do a little something to get rid of the bots, but whatever. Freak Five says he has two stinkos this week. First is Mrs. Freak's asthma. Had her hospitalized earlier. Oh man, that's not good at all, Freak. Hopefully everything, you know, works out there, dude. That is not cool at all. All right. Let's see. But yeah, just the whole Facebook thing. What do you think of that, Eric? Do you think that social media should ban all political ads, or do you think that they should continue doing what they're doing? I must have lost Eric. Holy shit. That's all right. Yeah, so that was my stinko. I'm just disillusioned with political nonsense. All right, here's Freak 5 Second stinko. When he started at his job almost 20 years ago, he earned paid time off and sick time separately. 11 years ago, they changed that and combined them, and all of our earned sick time was set into a bank, and we didn't earn any more. And then they made it practically impossible to use the sick time. This is interesting, Freak Five. I I fully I know how unions work, and I'm not a union guy per se, but I think the time is ripe for a lot of people to stand up and say, you know what, we want to be represented fairly by people that aren't beholden to donors except their union dues. So I think the salaries need to be reasonable for the people that run the union. I don't think anybody should become, a millionaire off of the back of other people. But I think if that person does hard work and gets workers the right amount of benefits, in other words, thinks of the workers instead of the corporations themselves, I think that would help quite a bit. So, to be honest with you, unions have a lot of benefits, and if you stack up the benefits as opposed to the downsides, the consequences, I think the benefits definitely outweigh anything bad that can occur by unions. So I really think people should think about forming unions. I know Walmart did it. This is another stinker. Walmart did a promo basically saying, people are going to be asking you to join a union. And they only cause harm is basically Walmart's message. And that was a training video. You're trained when you're a Walmart employee to be against somebody that will fight for more money for you. Now that's shady to me. Obviously that affects their bottom line. So, it's all bullshit, man. It's just nonsense. And then, okay, Freak 5 says not paying us for the time earned. That's a bunch of bullshit. And then it's not that he didn't use his time. He was never allowed to use it when he was supposed to. Now, that's bullshit. And then he says, for FMLA reasons, I should have been able to use it. Adopting children is an FMLA reason. But when I adopted both of my kids, they wouldn't allow it. Oh my goodness, Freak 5. That's some bullshit, dude. That sounds like some lawyer action right there. Dungeon Buster says, I had a ton of time saved up 1 year because of overtime and was told to use it before the year ended. But I would have taken the entire month off and they couldn't have that. So they compromised with me by pushing that time off into the next year. But I still had to use it. Just not all at once. I hope they give you a compromise or some kind of alternative other than just losing it all. My guess is they will cheat Freak 5. Companies are in it for one reason. Businesses are there to make money. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. Everybody wants to make money and provide for their families, etc., etc. But it is so super uber slanted because CEOs of big companies get major money. They never take less money to do their job. They always increase. So, it's a huge issue. People are now, in order to make it, are having to work 2-3 jobs, both parents. There's just a lot of bullshit going on. And I tell you something about Colorado, the weed industry is getting to be bullshit too. I've experienced that. I can talk about that on a different day, but that's just a bunch of bullshit that they don't give you that. You know what they should do? They should bank it for a year, whatever time that you both agreed to, the workers and the companies, and they should definitely give you a chance to get that, at least get a check at the end of the year. Let's say, like for instance, Freak 5 saying, or Dungeon saying that, people had thousands of hours left up. Let's get Breakman on the call here. But hey Breakman, how you doing, man?
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm not here.
Hey, man, we're talking about wages and some of the shady things businesses do. Freak 5 brought up the fact that he had a bunch of time and now it's kind of in limbo. You know how they try to screw you? They say, well, you get this amount of sick time, but you can't take it during this amount of time. And then when you get to it, like Dungeon Buster had a scenario where he had a bunch of hours saved up and basically it was like a whole month worth, and they couldn't afford to, let him take the entire month off at the end of the year. Otherwise he would have lost his thing, which puts him in a position. If he wasn't sick all year, he saved all that time. Why isn't he getting paid that money? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get you.
Yeah. So, I used to go back and forth on unions, but I think unions is going to be the way to go for a lot of people. I think bringing unions back would go a long way in preventing a lot of the abuses that corporations do to its workers.
I don't know, because there's some unions, like I was in a company, I was in a union, and the union was mostly interested in protecting the union. So, but I know unions that are good and care about the people.
Yeah.
So, so there's So it's like kind of hard because it's like it just depends on the union. Like there are definitely bad unions out there.
Yeah, yeah. No, there's no question about that. But I think the alternative break is not having a union and letting the company run roughshod. You know what I mean? Like
I don't know.
that's
My company is really good to me. I can't complain. But yeah, there's a lot of people that aren't, so I
yeah.
understand.
No, you got lucky, dude. You got a good
Yeah, I don't
company.
know what happened.
Yeah, I
I
don't know
don't
what
know
happened.
about getting lucky. I had to suck a lot of. I mean,
Yeah.
I
I
think
knew
my
the right
phone
people
just,
that get this job.
Yeah,
I think my
exactly.
phone decided to have a butt fart or something.
Yeah, that's all right. We're still talking about wages and unions. Eric, would you benefit from a union where you're at, or does your company treat you really good?
Um, I think we are union.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's good. For the most part, I think unions are good. They'll get you fair wages. But Break had a point. There are some unions, but I think it's the vast minority. I don't think
By the
it's
way,
the
no, we're
majority.
non-union. That's right, because lots of people. I think we still have a minimum wage of like maybe $8, maybe.
Wow. Yeah, it has the minimum wage is
I get paid more than other employees, but I've been there long,
yeah,
so that's
yeah.
probably why.
Well, that's good, dude. I mean, shit. If you've been there and you do hard work, you deserve good pay. You know, that's just the way
Well,
it is.
I wish I get like $15 an hour like people want, but 10.50 isn't bad, I guess.
No, 15 is where it should be, dude. I mean, $10 is barely keeping up with inflation. Like that's just a bunch of crap, man. I don't like that our minimum wage is not $15 an hour. And then I always have people say, "Oh, you want us to pay $15 an hour for a McDonald's worker?" To which I say, McDonald's can fucking afford it. All they have to do is reshuffle their board a little bit, make sure people get a little bit less money at the top and a
That's
little bit more money
I
at the
think
bottom.
that's like 15. I think a level wage is what people at McDonald's get in other countries.
Yeah.
See that's the thing. You say like that's what should happen, but you know that's not what will happen.
No, and not in this country.
What happens is they start raising the prices, they start skimping out on the products.
Yeah,
You know, things
exactly.
start getting the sandwiches start getting smaller and
Yeah.
shit like that.
Well, look, I'll
And
take.
it's not because they can't afford it; it's because they're cheap.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, no, no,
they
no.
don't want to lose the profit margin.
It's not so much that they're cheap, Eric. It's that their CEOs and board members and executives make a shit ton of money. I got a small taste of that because I had a relative that got a fairly high position in McDonald's. I don't want to mention his name, but yeah, it is. It's all who you know. I mean, we all know that bullshit, right? Like you can't get anywhere unless you know somebody, unless you know a guy that knows a guy, you know?
Oh,
And
I
that,
didn't get my job if it weren't for my dad. So.
well, see, there you go. I mean, it says it right there, dude. Like I mean, unless you know somebody,
I
if
mean, he didn't work at the company at the time, and now he does work there.
I'm
But
ex- I'm
uh, he knows the owner because the owner used to work with him.
yeah. Well, see, that's the thing. I'm having a hard time now because the weed industry is a bizarre industry to work in, man. It's crazy, but that's for another day. But I think unions definitely should be a thing, man. I don't think we should shy away from unions just because there are a few bad apples in the lot.
I've often said, and I've said it a long time. I think the video game developers they need to unionize. It'd be a different kind
Yeah.
of union.
Yeah, I agree. You know what? There's something.
But they do need to unionize because the way they are treated on the
Yeah.
whole, like basically they complete a job and then they're cast away type stuff, you
Yeah.
know.
I think.
And then we've all heard the horror stories of EA and
Oh,
shit
yeah.
like that. And we
Oh, yeah.
continue to hear stories popping up of people still doing crunch.
If it weren't for
And
unions, we
dumb
wouldn't even
shit.
have weekends.
Yeah, yeah. Dungeon Buster says, "Hey guys, we'll set up a computer bank for job searches because your department's being downsized." And then no one uses computers and watches TV instead. That exactly, man. Come on, man. It's a bunch of crap, man. But there's a good point that you made there, Breakman, with game developers. I also think voice actors should have a union too because I mean, I heard some stories from Mug that would blow you guys' minds, man. It's like, really? That's how they treat those dudes? Really? Like they're second-rate actors or something, and these guys are producing major, major good work, you know what
Yeah,
I mean? But, yeah.
I know about that stuff too. Yes. I
Yeah,
agree.
yeah, yeah, for sure, man. And I think the tech industry in general needs unions. I know they don't want to hear that, but I really do. I think the tech industry needs some good, strong unions in order to put more money back in our pockets, which in reality does the economy good. Because what do we do with more money, guys? We fucking spend it, you know? So there's that. What you been playing, Breakman, since we didn't get a chance to get to you?
Oh, what you did all the news and everything?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. I'm gonna be late more often.
No, you're not. No, you're not.
I'm not. Oh,
No.
okay.
So, what have you been playing?
I haven't been playing much because of my stinko, but you know the usual like Final Fantasy and Plants vs Zombies, just all mobile stuff. The only time
Yeah.
I've turned on my Xbox was watching Netflix.
Okay. Wow. All right.
Oh, yeah.
So let's go ahead.
I could
Eric.
do a little mini review of Death Note. I saw that.
No,
yesterday.
save it for next week. We'll talk about Death Note next week.
You don't think we have time to get the movies? I can talk about Death Note
No.
too.
I got a different topic for you and I to talk about. Blake.
Okay.
So yeah, save it for next week, Eric. You've been playing, all right. Anything on Twitter, Breakman?
I didn't see anything on Twitter. I'm double checking now, and yeah.
Okay. If you're listening,
Well, no, actually, there is something from. Well, no, I'm sorry. I take that back. That's last week. Yep. No, there's nothing.
okay. If you're listening on archives, whether it be Twitch, YouTube, our website, iTunes, etc., make sure you check us out and tell your friends. I guess that's what I wanted to say. I lost my train of thought, but I haven't smoked any weed today, so that's why. Let's see what else. Do you have any reviews, Breakman, this week, or are you good on that?
No, I don't have anything.
Okay,
Hey Frank, if they made a cereal called Wheaties, would you eat it?
Wheaties?
Yeah.
There is a cereal called Wheaties.
No, Wheaties.
Wheaties? Oh, Wheaties. Yeah, I probably would.
I've seen that joke somewhere. What was that, like on Chappelle's show or something?
I have no idea, but that'd be cool as fuck, man. That's one of my favorite movies is Half Baked with David Chappelle. It's pretty funny.
What a shock.
I love Half Baked, man. That movie's awesome. Grandma's Boy, Half Baked, all the Cheech and Chong movies.
No, those are good. Those are all good. You're right. I do like all
great
those.
movies,
I love stoner comedies. Because I love stupid people, and it's basically lots of stupid people.
Yeah,
it's hilarious.
Yeah. It's funny where weed takes you sometimes, man. Sometimes you can have very intellectual, in-depth conversations, and other times it devolves into, that was pretty funny. But yeah. All right, your stinko, Breakman.
My stinko goes to what was been keeping me away from my television and my work is Mrs. Breakman's parents, my Mill and Phil, mother-in-law, father-in-law, you know, Mill and Phil. No, okay. I'm gonna stop with the
I
stupid
thought you were
nicknames.
going with the MILF type thing, dude. I was gonna be like, ugh, that's kind of
No. I'm not going that. Anyway, their computer got hacked and ransomware was installed, and they're getting threatening phone calls and everything else, and I had to deal with it. I think I got the ransomware completely off their system.
Well, that's good, dude. My mom.
Hopefully, I closed the back door. They can't get back in, but they have Windows Vista, and there's no more updates for it, so there's that.
Ugh, they need to.
I recommended getting a new computer.
Yeah.
That was my recommendation.
Yeah.
I got another stinko for you.
What?
Titans Go and Powerpuff Girls crossover.
Oh boy. Yeah. No bueno. So.
Oh, that does sound bad. Ugh.
Breakman. Would your parents have a hard time transitioning from a PC to a Mac by chance? Because a Mac, you don't have to worry about viruses as much as a Windows machine, and they're a little bit easier to use.
I honestly don't know. I don't think her dad probably would be able to use it. He'd struggle with the one mouse thing, but he doesn't really use it anyway.
Yeah.
One button mouse, I mean. But other than that, I don't know. Maybe.
Actually, the mouse is 2 buttons, dude. It just you hit on the right side or the left side depending on what you want to do. But
It used to be just one button.
yeah, it used to be
Sorry.
one button. But yeah, Ubuntu. I don't know about that, Dungeon Buster. Screw
What's
that. man.
Ubuntu?
It's an
Ubuntu
operating
is a
system.
free version of Linux.
Yeah, it's a free version of Linux. It's I don't know about the interface of Ubuntu, man. I haven't delved too much into it. I prefer Macs just because I don't do any PC gaming, so I always recommend if somebody doesn't do PC gaming and they want to just do stuff like go to the internet or make a voice recording like I'm doing right now, get a Mac because it has all the software.
Mostly it's shopping on Amazon. Is that what?
Oh yeah, for sure. Get him a cheap Mac, dude. You can get a Mac Mini for I think like $500, $400.
See, you can get a cheaper PC.
Yeah, but
that's the thing. Like you can get a lot cheaper PC.
Yeah, but you can get a cheaper PC for $200, $300. But honestly, dude, like all the problems that you have.
This is only the first problem they've really had.
Yeah, well, I guess
and
they don't use it.
They've had it for a long time. I mean,
well, maybe that's the way to go. But I don't know, dude. I'm a convert, dude. I used to be hardcore PC guy because I love tinkering with computers and doing different stuff and getting different softwares and shit like that. But Mac has made my life like a million times better. Like I said, I don't do PC gaming. If you do PC gaming, forget it. Get a PC, because a Mac's not gonna have the horsepower that you need to play any games. But yeah, PC gaming, go for PCs if you want to do everything else and not pull your hair out and wish that you had had a computer expert at your side every time you wanted to do anything on a PC. Then but anyways, let's get to your that was your Stinko. Do you have any more, Breakman?
Yeah, it's football, but that's about it. It's not it basically well, let me see here. Last week I said, I'd really lost interest in Twitter and such like that. And I guess this kind of makes it a sweeto. But since last week, there have been 2 Bengals games, and they got embarrassed in both games. And I found a new love for Twitter while this is going on. Basically, just a lot of making fun of how bad this team is and how badly they need to change.
Okay, I didn't see the second game. Who did they play and what happened in that game?
Houston.
They lost to Houston?
Houston.
Oh my goodness, dude! They must be the worst team in the league. Maybe even worse than
they might be. See, the biggest problem is
Browns are better.
Yeah, actually, the Browns right now are better. The problem is in the offseason they let they let their linemen, like the 2 most important guys protecting the quarterback, go, and they never addressed it. So they went out and got fast guys and like these young players, like, the Joe Mixon and guys like that who were supposed to be really big studs, and they just assumed like everything was going to be fine without protecting Andy Dalton, who we know who Andy Dalton is. If you protect him, he's a pretty good quarterback.
Yeah.
If he doesn't get protected, he's total garbage.
I think
I don't know why they thought things were going to be different.
Yeah, I don't know why.
I'm not sure why the team thought things were going to be different, but yeah, it's actually even worse than I thought. I figured they were going to be like an average team. I saw no way that this team could be better than last year.
Yeah,
but I didn't see that it'd be a lot marketably worse.
Do you think they're one of those teams that goes 0-16, or do you think they'll get off the schneid here soon?
I almost kind of hope they do, because I think that'd be the only thing to get Martin Lewis fired.
I don't understand what it's going to take to get that dude fired. Like, what does he have to do? Win a Super Bowl to get fired? Like, honestly, like what? Like what are they waiting for, man? What, Breakman? You're having a heart attack.
Line. Seriously, like, he's never won anything, and all he gets is promoted. So maybe if he won something, maybe then they'd fire him.
Yeah, I guess we all have to hope that he wins a Super Bowl in order for. I mean, I have no stake in the Bengals. I think they should have won that San Francisco Super Bowl. That Super Bowl was a shame. That was a great Super Bowl.
Killed everything.
That That was a great
whatever, it
Super Bowl.
happened.
Yeah. That would have been a ding on Montana's career for sure, man. But they pulled it out. I got to give the 49ers credit. I have no love for the 49ers, man. None
Yeah, me
whatsoever.
either.
But we're going to be talking lots of sports, Breakman, because I got a topic we're going to be talking about here pretty soon. But I'm glad you brought up football. I did not see that game. I didn't even know who was playing. I forget.
Well, it's a Thursday night game. Thursday night's such a stupid night for football.
I fully agree with you, dude. I think it's bad on the players. It's bad on the fans. I do not like Thursday night football at all.
Yeah.
I don't even like Saturday football unless we're talking like a weird occasion, you know. Thanksgiving game is okay. Obviously, Thanksgiving games are okay. Christmas games, etc. But
Yeah.
So
Well, Christmas is usually the NBA.
I love the NBA during that time. I love watching NBA during that time. It's good stuff. But and I love watching football on Halloween. I don't know if there's any. I don't know if Halloween falls.
That
on
sounds
Sunday.
like a sickness. You should get help.
How dare you? How dare you? So yeah, it's a big sports week. We'll get into that. I know Eric isn't into the.
That's all right.
sports
He's
stuff,
taking
but-
a nap.
Yeah. Hey Eric. What is your what is your sweeto of the week if you have one?
My sister's getting married.
Oh yeah, congrats from the Grinders, man.
Also, now I don't have to deal with religious weddings anymore.
Yeah, there you go. That's
You
good.
should never say never.
Yeah, I know. You might be invited to one, dude. your future wife.
Never say never, because then it happens a lot more often than you ever wanted.
Yeah, your future wife is probably going to be a Protestant or a Jehovah Witness, Eric.
No, that'd be deal breaker.
His wife is going to be a devout Roman Catholic.
Yeah, looks like a Breakman.
The
Or I'm
wedding
sorry.
is going to take 4 hours.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, the wedding wasn't that long, but
Looks like MXT decided to join chat. What's up, MXT? I was talking like mad shit about you before you got on. I just wanted to let you know that.
Yeah.
Yep. So what's your sweeto, Breakman?
Sweeto?
Yeah, your sweeto.
I guess this is I think I fixed that problem. The
Oh.
computer problem.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, that's
Hope
cool.
so.
Well, good, man. I hate computer problems, especially when you're dealing with like older people and computer problems. It's especially troublesome because they.
Yeah. Well, it's that's exactly what it is. Is just older people, so that's who the ransomware you generally target. You know.
Yeah.
Because they get on the computer and then they say you have to call this number and this
Yep.
is Windows and
Yep.
we'll fix this, and then they call they didn't do that. They're a bit smarter than the generally who they target, and they didn't do that, and then they started calling, and she picked up and they're like, this is Windows and you have to call this number, and she hung up on them. And they called back like in the next day, and he picked up and he's like, I don't own a computer, and hung up on him.
Nice.
Shit like
That's
that.
perfect. Beautiful. My mom.
I told him next time you talk to them, get them to ask for the money, because that's what they're gonna do.
Yeah.
Just to keep them on the line a little bit, see if you can find out where they're calling from, get their number, and then you can report it.
There's
Hopefully get them shut down.
There's a YouTube channel that's dedicated 24/7 to calling these numbers and exposing these scammers, and most of them happen out of India, unfortunately.
She said they had a heavy foreign accent.
Yeah,
so.
I'm almost certain it was an Indian one. That's where they have the majority of those type of operations. Big
that
money
sucks.
there.
India's got such extreme poverty.
Oh,
like
it's
hard to stop stuff like that, because there are a lot of people who'll do pretty much anything for money.
Yeah, those people are desperate, man, for sure.
Yeah.
There's no question. So, on one hand, I don't blame them, but you know what? On the other hand, fuck them, because that's
Yeah, that's how
people
I
here.
feel. It's like it'd be one thing if you were, targeting like big corporations and stuff. Like
Yeah.
we could say you're like an anti-hero or something. But no, they're going after like old people and
Yeah.
such. Like trying to get people who are usually they're looking for like the people who are less fortunate.
Yeah.
It's sad. It's
They
really
got a
sad.
hold of my mom. My mom's so gullible, man. It was one of
Oh,
those.
that sucks.
Yeah, it was one of those pop-ups. Your computer's infected. Call this number, etc.,
Yep.
etc. And they took her for like $200, which
Oh, that sucks.
doesn't sound like a lot of money, but to my mom on a fixed income, my mom and dad on a fixed income,
Sounds like a lot of money to me.
that's a lot of money, dude. Especially if you're on a fixed income. So it was a bunch of bullshit. But I got most of it taken care of, I think, on this computer. It very rarely happens to Max, but it does happen. And unfortunately, she was a victim of that. Luckily, the bank took care of it, which I was surprised because banks usually give you a really fucking hard time when it comes to shit
Yeah,
like that.
Fifth Third especially, they gave me a hard time when my credit card was stolen.
Yeah.
But that's a different story altogether. But Dungeon Buster in chat says there's a story out there about a guy that wrote a program that pranked scam callers with robocalls the same way, which
Yeah.
sounds pretty awesome. I'd like to do that.
Yeah.
I think they're horrible pieces of shit.
Oh,
what they
dude,
do.
no
Because
question.
especially when you like I said, target the less fortunate. When
Yeah,
you're
it
it's basically like being a predator. Like you go for the easy kill. You know.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. It sucks.
Like when lions go after a herd, like they catch the one that falls behind.
Yeah.
They don't get the leader.
Yeah. Hey, Eric, we're going to be talking some boxing now, dude. I don't know if you want to stay on the line for that. Do you want to do your plugs before you go off to your sister's wedding, or what do you want to do?
Well, we already did the wedding. This is the reception that we're going to go to.
Oh, the reception. Yeah, the reception. Are you going to stick around, or you
Yeah, I'm not into the boxing stuff.
Okay. Eric, do you have any plugs before you want to leave?
Yeah, check out sites I rate reviews for, like TotallyGN.com. Hopefully, either now or later today or maybe tomorrow, I'll have reviews up of East 8, The Lacrimosa of Donna, and Warriors All-Stars, which I did not like.
Oh, okay. That's a nice preview to your written review, dude. All right, Eric.
Which All-Stars that you didn't like?
Warriors All-Stars.
Okay.
Warriors All-Stars. All right, Eric. Thanks. Thanks about. Oh, did you have a Sweeto before you left? Freak 5 was asking about our Sweetos.
Yeah, I said it already. It was the wedding.
Oh, yeah. All right, dude. Have a good time at the reception. Give my regards to your family. Give the art, from the entire crew. Have a good time.
Make sure you say the card came from all of us.
Yeah, exactly.
And the gift. And the gift.
And the
Freak.
gift.
This Freak is the person you wouldn't bring home to mom.
Hey, Eric, is it open bar?
I think so.
Oh, shit. Fuck yeah.
We'll be over.
We're ending
We're
the
on our
show.
way.
I'm on a flight. I'll be right there, dude. So just letting you know. No. Have a good time, Eric, at your sister's reception.
Yeah, okay. See you guys.
Yep.
Later.
All right, that was Eric, man. Man, he saved the bacon at the beginning, dude. I was doing the news by myself, Breakman, and that was, awful for me. I mean, it was a pleasure for the audience, but, awful for me.
Well, then, that's because let me find it in chat where he said it. I was reading it and I started to cry a little bit, and I kind of
I started to cry.
Oh, here it is. The news went quick because Break wasn't mispronouncing words and getting laughed at. That shaved off a lot of time from the news. Okay.
There were a lot of Japanese words that I
Back to crying.
got through. Go back to crying. So my Sweeto this week is tonight is the Canelo Gennady Golovkin fight, a boxing match, and I want to broaden this topic out to the free for all. I thought it would be a good time for us to talk sports, Breakman.
Okay.
And it goes back to what was deemed a boxing match with Conor McGregor and Floyd Mayweather. Did you happen to catch the fight or the result of the fight, Breakman?
No.
Okay.
No, I know the results, but I didn't.
I knew you weren't interested in it, but I was for one reason, because I saw a big time racial component to this fight. So
yeah.
What I did is
I saw that before the fight started. That was why it was that was part of the reason it was my Stenko,
Yeah. No, yeah, I remember. That's why I wanted to bring it up today, because you and I could talk a little bit about it. I saw it at a bar, and the mix of people was 50% white, 50% black. And I'm in the middle. I'm brown skin, not black skin or white skin.
Everybody's looking at you like, well, who's he picking?
Yeah, who's he going for? It's just, Canelo's not fighting tonight. Why is this guy here? It's like, but it was.
Oh no, dude. There's no Latin people here. You gotta go. That's not tonight.
Yeah, we charge you extra. You want to pay $50, motherfucker? Get the fuck out of here. No, but it was interesting to watch, man, because the fight was fascinating, and I'll tell you why, Breakman. I'm a huge boxing fan. I've been watching boxing forever, dude. Like I can remember watching boxing matches as a kid. So I really do enjoy boxing. But I also enjoy MMA. I don't know if people know this, but the first UFC was held in Denver. And it was brutal. It was no holds barred. The only thing you couldn't do was bite. You couldn't. What was the other thing? There were like only two or three rules. You couldn't bite, and you couldn't use elbows or something weird. But everything.
No wet willies.
Yeah.
Couldn't do those.
Yeah. No wedgies. None of that shenanigans. But it was something different. Like, you saw big sumo
I know,
dudes.
but my problem with UFC is it always most matches. I won't say it always did, but most matches just turned into hold matches. Where you're trying to get each other to submit.
Okay,
like I want to see them like fight. Like throw punches and kicks and stuff. And usually it turns into Bret Hart, like just figure four everybody type
dude,
shit.
I tell you, I used to feel the same way about UFC, and I'll tell you why, Breakman. I have to go through a quick history lesson of UFC.
Okay.
UFC at first was just no holds barred, bare knuckle brawling with martial arts in the ring when it first started, and it piqued a lot of interest, obviously. But it couldn't stay that way. It had to be regulated. You had people losing teeth, getting major injuries, like face. I mean, it happens in boxing still, but like with no gloves to pad the blows that you get from hitting someone, you can do some major damage up to and including killing someone. And I'm surprised someone didn't get killed in the early years of the UFC. But they added gloves. They added rules, a set rule set that you couldn't like bite or,
rules.
Yeah,
God,
you couldn't
that's
cheat.
what ruins everything.
Yeah, drug testing.
Let's go back to the ex-NFL when they wanted to try and get rid of rules like the what was that, you couldn't what was that big rule that they took out? No fair catch. That's right, no fair catch.
Yeah. Yeah.
And remember, they immediately, like in the second week or third week, they immediately said, okay, no, we can't do that because some guy got crippled for life.
Yeah.
In the first week, it was ridiculous.
Yeah.
But come on, man, that's what happens. People get crippled for life for our entertainment. Let's just move on. We don't forget about him. Move on. Let's do this.
There's a broader discussion on concussions that I'll eventually touch on with the NFL in this conversation break.
See, the NFL gets picked on for it, but concussions are a lot wider than just the NFL. But the NFL's biggest problem was they knew a lot more than they were ever led on to, and they were hiding it from everyone.
Yeah.
For a long time. That's the biggest problem. Yeah. So they knew for certain that concussions were dangerous, but they kind of blew that information off and pretended like it didn't happen.
Yeah, apparently MXT's been here the whole time. He was in the YouTube chat. Sorry, I have the YouTube chat open. I don't know why I didn't see anything in there, MXT. My bad. But yeah, the concussion things with the NFL, you're right, but the NFL and I think rugby are the two sports where you're really getting, you're getting blows that are major.
You know what the number 2 highest concussion sport is in America?
I want to guess and say.
I will go. I'll give you a hint after you guess wrong first time. Go ahead.
Okay, I'm gonna guess that the number 1 sport. Now we're talking like
NFL's number 1. I'm saying number 2.
Oh, number 2.
I mean, football in general is number 1.
Yeah.
What's number 2?
Number 2. Let me go with soccer.
Ooh, good guess. Be more specific though.
Geez, man, I don't even know. More specific than soccer? Like soccer,
Yeah,
soccer.
it's women's soccer.
Oh, women's
Yep.
soccer. Those ladies get it. Frank John Lee trying to censor the man. Get out of here, MXT, you son of a bitch. Exiled. You're exiled from YouTube chat, that's for sure. No. Okay.
Surprisingly, ping pong really low.
Yeah, ping pong I wouldn't think would be high on that list. You know what
Yeah,
else?
there are some surprising ones pretty high on the list though.
I know one that's not even going to be anywhere near the top. Probably golf. I'm guessing.
Gaming.
Yeah.
That's up there.
Yeah, gaming. What else? Tennis. I don't think there's very many tennis concussions. Stuff like that. But no, the concussion. Let me get back to the UFC thing, and then we'll get into that.
Yeah.
Stuff.
Sorry.
So now you have UFC in its current form today, and I enjoy it for the reasons that you hate it, Breakman. During the first UFC, Hoist Gracie won the first UFC. Now, if anybody doesn't know who Hoist Gracie is, he does jiu-jitsu in his own Gracie, style. And basically, it's a bunch of strangle moves to make you tap out. I don't even think there was a tap out rule in UFC 1, but he won it despite being one of the smaller guys out of the bunch because he knew how to choke and strangle and, like knock somebody out basically by strangling them. We fast forward to today. They've changed a lot of the rules, which for the better. It's sanctioned. The drug testing is going on, et cetera, et cetera. But then now we have this dilemma. Do we stick with the MMA or do we go to boxing or do we, it's this weird thing. They're like competing for the same dollars. And there's merits to both of them. I know you don't like the grappling and stuff like that, but there's an art to that.
It's just boring to watch for me, but I know some people like it.
Actually, it's fairly exciting. Like I saw a women's match the other day that held me breathless for times.
Yeah, I think I saw that same video.
Holy shit, those women!
Oh man, X-Tube's so amazing.
How dare you? But no,
what, we're not talking about the same submission lesbian video?
Although
no?
it was
it
was hot seeing two hot chicks fight like that. But there's this chick. Her last name is Lee, and her and this one woman. I mean, first they were throwing blows. They were kicking each other's asses for the most part. Then they got on the ground, and then it became compelling because like one would get a one of your knee locks, ankle locks, arm locks. Like it kept going back and forth, and that's the art part of it. Just like boxing. Boxing is a sweet science, right? That's a term.
See, I like to watch boxing, but it's been a long time since I've watched boxing.
Oh, dude, I'm so excited for tonight. Even more so than the McGregor Mayweather. I was not excited at all, but I wanted to see it. For the show for a different reason, which I'm getting to now. As I mentioned, it was 50-50. It was, half black, half white. And I kid you not, people were so adamant about their choice. Like there was no in between. Either you supported Mayweather or you supported McGregor. And I was like,
and I bet 90% of those people had never really heard of any of those fighters until like a month before.
No, actually they kind of knew. Like the McGregor people knew McGregor, and the Mayweather. I mean, how could you not know who Mayweather is? Like,
not that they don't know him, but like they're. I'm saying these are bandweather fans, is what I'm saying.
Possibility.
A lot of time.
I didn't interview anybody.
Like,
wish
they weren't into the stuff, and then all of a sudden, like they see this one guy's doing good, and they're like, "All right, I'm on that bandwagon."
I really wished I would have recorded some interviews for it, because there was a guy sitting next to me, a white guy, and we watched the fight. And let me give you a rundown of that fight real quick. Basically, it was Mayweather holding back until the 9th round, and then he decided to wake up, and he beat the fuck out of McGregor. All right, that
It
was
sounds like that's what he was, where the money was at, was the
yeah,
ninth round. Like that's
yeah.
this is the round where you take him apart. Okay, got it.
See,
That's all I need.
I mean, everybody's giving McGregor all this credit. You know, he lasted 9, 10 rounds or no, 9 rounds with Mayweather and blah blah blah. And look, the outcome was obvious. There was no way in hell Mayweather was going to lose that fight because he specialized in boxing. Boxing is a specialized thing that UFC will never get on the level with boxing with. I mean, ever. You better have a super special athlete to be able to transfer skills from sport to sport. I've watched a lot of, people that did both, and boxing by far is the harder sport to master. It just is. That's just the way it is. Now
And it's not just about mastering with boxing. You need
You need
just innate skill.
Oh,
You need to be born fast.
Yep.
Basically.
Well, not even so much fast. You just better have that
Fast hands. I mean, you just
fast,
need to be born with fast hands.
and you need to have a strong chin. Now, to your point.
Oh yeah, oh definitely. Oh my God, yeah. I've seen guys who with skill get in there, and then one good shot to that face, and find out they got a glass jaw. It's like,
well,
nah,
all you
that
have to
sucks.
do is look back to Amir Khan and Canelo Alvarez. All right, Amir Khan is a very skilled boxer, but man, did he ever? I mean, he takes punches. He has a glass jaw. Is basically what I'm trying to say.
That
And
sucks.
Canelo knocked him on his ass. Like Canelo, to me. All right, here's my quick history of why I love boxing. All right, I grew up, and a lot of the boxers, the real tough, gritty boxers, were in their prime when I was growing up. From Mexico, like Julio Cesar Chavez, who ran up a record, I think, of like 86-0, something ridiculous before he lost his first fight. He ended up his career like 100 and I think it was like 104-3 or something, which is incredible. That's an incredible record. Can you imagine that, Breakman? Somebody going 86-0, like
That's crazy.
Chavez did that. Like Mayweather's accomplishment.
Not even Mike, or not Mike Tyson. Yeah, obviously Mike Tyson didn't go undefeated, but I was gonna say not even Muhammad Ali went undefeated.
No. And people rightly regard Muhammad Ali as the greatest boxer. I happen.
It's true.
I think he's up there. I don't know if I'd put him at the top. I saw a lot of Ali fights, and
I think the problem is we compare boxers of different ages. Just I think with every sport, it's just really hard to compare.
Yeah.
Because for Muhammad Ali's time, like he was one of the most influential and just really harder boxers to take down.
Yeah. Well, he came up with the rope-a-dope, dude, and
Right.
you see people do rope-a-dope even now. Mayweather was doing that all night, but he wasn't throwing any punches, really. I think the first 2 or 3 rounds, I think he threw a total of 15 punches. Can you remember a boxing match where Floyd Mayweather threw 15 punches in the first 3 rounds? I can't. I've seen a lot.
Yeah,
But-
I've seen matches where boxers throw like 15 punches in a round or two.
Yeah, it's
you want to jump in the ring and end the fight. Like, stop this stupid horse shit right now. This is,
yeah.
What the
So-
fuck are these two idiots doing? Kick them out. Let's get real boxers in here.
Right. So my point was this, Break. You gave me the idea when we were talking about the McGregor McGregor-Mayweather fight, how it really wasn't a fight. It was just a circus, basically. I think that's what
Right.
we boiled it down to. And it was, for the most part. But the interesting thing about it is I found out that people will defend their position no matter what, even if the facts are presented to them in their face. There was a guy.
I know.
There was a guy sitting to my left while I was watching the fight. We watched the whole fight, had a good time. He wasn't having a good time, but I was, because I knew Mayweather was going to kick his ass at some point. So basically, you had half of the crowd disappointed, half of the crowd, cheering. And I was talking to this guy next to me, and he's like, And I kept telling him, I'm like, Mayweather isn't even boxing. He's like, oh, look at McGregor's kicking his ass and blah, blah, blah. I was like, how long have you been watching boxing? Because from my view, Mayweather isn't doing anything and McGregor's face is starting to look fucked up. I was like, I don't know what's going on here. I don't know if he's just waiting for the right time, but Mayweather's going to turn it on and he's going to kick the shit out of McGregor. I would take a boxer over an MMA fighter in boxing probably 99% of the time.
Right. Like, for one thing, you're taking away half of his weapons.
Right. But on the flip side,
I mean, literally, you're taking away both of his legs. Like, you're taking away half of his weapons.
But I actually think boxing translates a little bit better into MMA. I could see a boxer going into MMA and doing fairly well based on his punching power. You know what I'm saying? Like, if he gets in tight and knocks somebody, hit somebody, most likely he's going to knock that person out, especially with 4-ounce gloves. Are you kidding me? A boxer? Fuck that, dude. You wouldn't catch me in the ring with a boxer in an MMA fight. No way, dude. That's it. Just something about boxers sets them apart. You know what I'm saying? So I'm talking to this guy, and he's like, man, he was beating him all the way till that round. I was like, no, he wasn't, for one. And you can look to the stats. I know McGregor landed I think it was 100 and some odd punches more so than Mayweather's last 3 opponents, et cetera, et cetera. But the problem is there was nothing behind those punches. If you watch that fight, Breakman, McGregor wasn't throwing anything. So I out of curiosity, I kept the conversation going with this guy. I was like, you think he did good in that fight? And he was like, well, what happened? I thought you said it was going to last not even 4 rounds. And I was like, you couldn't see what was going on here, dude? Like Mayweather could have took him apart in less than a round. And he let him be in the ring for 9 rounds. There's no question in my mind. I mean, you're taking a guy who was making his professional debut against a multi-time world champion boxer, and you expected that dude to actually win?
My thought, generally not, I'm not kidding. I know I said, he was taking a dive in the night, or he was, this is when I'm going to beat him in the ninth, this is where the money is. No, my honest opinion is, Merriweather'd been retired for what, 4 or 5 years now?
Yeah.
He had to get back into shape, so he wasn't quite ready when the match started,
Right.
And it took him a little bit of time to get back into it, but once he got back into it, it was pretty, I'd imagine by then it was pretty hot.
Dude.
I only saw highlights.
I mean, I saw the writing on the wall probably the 3rd round on. I knew what his game plan was after the 3rd round. His game plan was let McGregor gas out. That's the biggest thing, is endurance. Boxers have more endurance than any MMA fighter, and I would take that to my grave. There's no question about that.
It's a completely different form of fighting.
Yeah. Yep. Dungeon Buster said Mayweather can take a hit. He definitely has no glass jaw. That is absolutely true. And if you ever want to see a Matrix-style boxer, watch Mayweather. Mayweather, to me, and I don't like the guy personally. I think he's an ass.
He is a horrible human being, but he is one of the greatest boxers of all time.
In my opinion, he's the greatest I've ever seen, Breakman. He is the greatest boxer I have ever seen. There was one fight that he fought.
There's basically Dungeon Buster has another sentence that kind of sums up. Remember, Mayweather is a great tactical fighter, but he's so boring to watch, which is the problem most of the time.
Yeah, right. But
because he's doing a lot of dodging, he's doing a lot of blocking.
Yep.
Because he's looking for his opening.
Yep.
He's when he's in that ring, he's like a tactical genius. He knows what he's doing.
Absolutely.
And he's got fists that are
super fast,
hit hard, and arms that are faster than motherfucker.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just.
Mayweather is an absolute delight to watch in the ring, dude, because if you want to really learn the sweet science of boxing, you take the best of what other people did, and Mayweather took the best of everybody's world, man. He can hit for power, he can hit for speed. I've never seen anybody with better defense than not even the great Muhammad Ali had as great defense as Mayweather. Mayweather, they should have called Mayweather the Matrix. That's how good he was at avoiding punches. I watched the Canelo fight. Canelo was only, I think he was like 21, so he was super young when he fought Mayweather. And it was a decent fight, but Mayweather was going to win that fight. He didn't knock out Canelo or anything like that. He didn't do anything flashy, but there were sequences where every one punch that Canelo threw, Mayweather would throw 3. So if you're looking at a 3-1 clip, you're going to lose that fight almost every time. They slowed down a video of Mayweather avoiding 2 punches from Canelo, like stepping back and leaning and avoiding. They did it in slow motion, and it was probably one of the coolest things I've ever seen. He avoided two punches with 2 subtle moves and hit Canelo with a good right cross. And I was, from that point on, I was like, this guy is the real deal. Another guy that I like a lot, Breakman, is Lucas Matisse. If you've ever had a chance to find that guy, he's the quickest to win a world championship ever. He's like 11-0. He's undefeated. I think they do call him the Matrix, and he's another guy that has big time potential. I think Lucas Matisse, not Lucas Matisse. What the fuck am I talking about? I'll find it later. But anyways.
Well, now I'm gonna be confused. Thanks.
Hold on.
Thanks.
No, he's super fast. Oh. Vasil Lomachenko. Matisse is really good too. He's a super hard puncher. But Lomachenko, look up Lomachenko, dude. That dude, he's fucking insanely skilled, dude. That guy is awesome. But anyways, let's come full circle to boxing. Tonight is the Canelo Triple G fight. I think Canelo is gonna win, but one thing I do know, this is a boxing match, period. You're going to see 2 boxers throw blows tonight. They are going to go at it. Unlike the previous Mayweather-McGregor fight where it was just a show, this is a boxing match. So I'm super excited to see it. I hope it gives the fans everything they're craving and more, because I'm a big fan of boxing, and I think this is a super important fight in boxing in general. But getting back to the concussion thing, in football, I do think the onus is on the NFL to make sure its players are protected, and not by introducing bullshit rules like, you can't, that moving the kickoff forward.
Okay,
and stuff
let
like
me
that.
before we get into like the bullshit rule, or actually getting into right away into bullshit rules. I would have less of a problem with them if they would enforce them fucking equally.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
There are teams, specifically like the Steelers, that get away with shit that would not, that teams like the Bengals or I'm sure the Broncos would get called for. Hits that had Vontaze Burfict suspended.
Yeah.
Not even fined.
Yeah.
There were a couple hits in the Cleveland Steelers game that were far more offensive than what Vontaze did in the first game. I know he has and don't get me wrong, he has a history, and I agree that he should be suspended.
Yeah.
But I think it should be applied equally, and I think there should be Steelers players that are suspended. But the Steelers, the Patriots, teams like that, well, NFL, I guess they try to take on I should say the Steelers and teams like that.
Yeah.
That the NFL loves get special treatment.
I think it's ridiculous. Because it's a big market thing and they're protecting their value. Breakman, it all comes back to money. They just don't want to spend the money to protect the players, which is bullshit. They want to change the rules, but they don't want to make it fun for anyone. Yeah. Like I remember there was a time they called it the No Fun League because they banned celebrations. I mean, what,
I never stopped calling it the No Fun League.
yeah, I mean,
As long as there are no celebrations like that, I loved celebrations.
yes, that was one of the things that drew people into football. What was that dude gonna? What was Terrell Owens gonna do next? He was gonna sign a football or grab popcorn.
And I think I had my team, the Bengals, had the greatest like celebrator of all time.
Oh,
Chad Johnson.
Chad Johnson is great.
I love that. And that's why he's my favorite Bengal of all time. Is because he realized this is a game, it's a sport. Let's have fun.
Oh, dude, the Bengals also had another one of the greatest celebrations ever. They had the Icky Woods, the Icky Shuffle.
Yeah.
That
was great. I love that.
Dude, before the Icky Shuffle, I remember Sammy Winder doing the Mississippi Mud Dance, dude. And it was similar to the Icky Shuffle, but it didn't have as much kind of shuffle to it. It was more of like Donkey Kong, step on one leg, then step on the other, and then but dude, I mean, there are moments like that made it super fun. So instead of changing the fucking rules, let's get better equipment. Like, I know those helmets could do better. And here's another thing that bothers me about the concussion bullshit with the NFL. The quarterbacks are protected more than any other fucking player on the field, and that is fucking bullshit.
But the problem is, it's because they get paid more than anybody else, and if you lose that quarterback, generally it means your season is gone. Like I said, when Andy Dalton got hurt a couple years ago, people were saying, "Hey, we got to the playoffs." I'm like, "Yeah, but Andy Dalton's still hurt. We've got a backup quarterback. There's no way in how we win this game."
Yeah.
And I keep saying we, and I don't mean to. It's just because I'm drunk. Because it really annoys me when people they refer to like their team as their favorite team is we. I'm like, you weren't out there playing.
Well,
you're watching
I know,
it,
but
you have no decision making process. Nothing that you do is affecting the game.
No question about it. But
unless you're one of those people who's out in Boston using your racial slurs.
Oh my goodness!
Then
Boston.
You people are probably interfering in it, because I can't imagine guys out there playing not being able to really, what the fuck is wrong with you people?
Yeah. I go back and forth on the NFL, man. It's basically a bunch of billionaires trying to micromanage a bunch of millionaires, and it doesn't it doesn't ever work that way. It's the same thing with the regular worker at a big corporation. They change the rules on you, and you're like, what? We can't do this? Really? We've been doing this for fucking years. There's no consequence. And
not only that, you get zero input in the process.
Yeah, and no input. And people will say, well, they have a union. They have the players' union, players' association. Yeah, right.
The problem, okay, here's what happened last time with the players' union when they went on strike. What was going on is they wanted, I guess, higher salaries, and they wanted this and that. The players wanted a lot of things to change. Mm-hmm. And then there was a lot of negotiation, and then when it got close to the season coming, a lot of the people realized, a lot of the players realized that, this is the only way I'm going to get paid. So a lot of players caved in.
Yeah.
And the strike was basically over before the season started. So
yeah, that's the thing.
They did get some negotiation, but not much.
Yeah.
The only thing that got changed was less practice, I believe.
Yeah.
Which you can see on the field. You can see there are guys that absolutely need practice that just aren't getting it.
The first week absolutely sucked, except for the Bronco game. Would you agree, Breakman? They've diluted.
There was a lot of crap, yeah.
They diluted most of the NFL. I do like that they added celebrations back in, though, so that's one positive thing. I think the helmets need to be improved dramatically. I don't think you need as heavy as a helmet, because the heavier the helmet is, the more impact it's going to have on the person you're hitting.
Let me ask you a question, because I've heard this a lot when just listening to sports radio. They'll bring it up every once in a while on ESPN. What do you think about going back to the days of no helmets?
I actually
the leather
think,
strap-on helmets.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of evidence to say that actually would be safer.
Yeah, I think that's something that they have to strongly, if they really care about their players, which they don't. I mean, just look at Kaepernick's situation. then I
A lot
think
of it's appearance too, and I imagine there are business deals as far as who makes the helmets and stuff like that.
yeah, I'm
So
sure.
there's definitely money involved.
I'm sure, but how bad or how good would it look to a company instead of producing this $500 helmet? They can produce maybe $100 helmet with all the same logos and everything of that nature. You know what I'm saying? They could even design one that's maybe, I don't know, like some sort of foam, hard foam that wouldn't be as impactful as that battering ram that they put on people's heads. And they can even on leather straps they can include face mask. I don't know if you knew that, but they can do that. So I'm all for that, dude. Like seriously.
There's a lot of a technology. I've read a lot of, I've been pointed in the direction, I guess, from. Or no, I did read them in magazines, like I think Sports Illustrated. Like, there's a lot of technology that's been the NFL could invest in, but isn't.
Yeah.
Better technology, like that'll protect the athletes better, specifically when it comes to head trauma.
They need some adjustments with their pads. The clothing needs to be adjusted a little bit better. There's better, like when you see a biker go out. I mean, it's obviously not going to protect them from a huge crash, but if they fall and they have like these leather coats and gloves and the protective helmet. I think if they went with something more along the lines of that, they would probably be better for it. I know the players at first might not like the idea of not having a face mask. It'd be totally weird, especially for the vets. But I think if you start preaching that in like,
you've worn a football helmet, right?
Yeah.
Okay, wearing a football helmet, for the people who don't know, it's hard as fuck to see out of that goddamn thing.
Yeah.
Your vision is so restricted. Like, you don't understand. I can understand when they say a quarterback, like, how do you miss that throw and stuff? I'm like, how did they make the throws they normally do? Like, I don't even know how to do that.
Dude, it's amazing. But they're now, to the NFL's credit, they have modified helmets, but mostly for just the quarterbacks, which is, to me, favoring one position over the other makes zero sense to me. Like, if you do for one, you need to do it for all. So if you have a defensive back that gave an offensive lineman a helmet to helmet, that should count just as much as the guy that did a late hit on a quarterback. If you get a late hit on a wide receiver, it needs to be called a late hit, and it needs to be treated exactly the same way as it. Like you said, Breakman, come full circle. Let's make it consistent with every team in the league. Let's not mince words. Like let's make it equal. And then
my God, how dare what are you talking about?
I know,
equal.
I know, equality, dude, equality. For a gladiator sport, basically. It's like, really? I don't know, dude. I love the NFL, but the rule thing coming back was definitely a step in the right direction, but they got a long ways to go. I didn't get a chance to watch a lot of football the first weekend. I did watch some, not like in normal years where I'm inundated with football. I watch football all the time. I'm starting, I know this is weird, but I'm starting to gravitate towards the college game a little more. Like it's to me it's getting to be a little more exciting in the college ranks than it is the NFL, and I'm wondering if the NFL might not be feeling some of that pressure, and that's the reason why they relented on the end zone celebration rule, because they got to do something, man, because
I think it was more that they've lost a lot of viewership over the last few years, last couple years, really.
Yeah.
It's just been the last couple years where there's been that big drop in viewership. It's happened, not just for them, but for a lot of major shows. Like The Walking Dead took a hit, I know.
Yeah, Walking Dead's rebounding a little bit. And the NFL
and I think the NFL's rebounded a little bit too, but
like I said,
I think it was more like they need I think they realized that like, well, we're kind of stale right now. We need to do
Yeah.
something to catch some attention.
Yeah, it is. I was going to say that. And another thing that I noticed big time in the games that I did view, and they were random games. It wasn't like uh, just cherry picked. Every game I saw had empty seats, Breakman.
Yo,
Every
good point. Good
single
point. Yeah.
game.
Well, the problem I've said for a long time is the product they give you at home
Yeah.
almost it's almost better than being there a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what? There's something to that. The only team
Like
that is,
I like being at the stadium and stuff, but there are so many problems with being there. Like, yeah,
yeah.
you know,
Yeah.
you're outside. It can be a cold game for one thing.
Yep.
You're dealing with you'd have to deal with the elements. You gotta
Yeah.
go to wait in line
Traffic.
to get to the bathrooms,
Yeah.
wait in line to get food,
Oh, and the
pay $1
food.
billion to
Yep.
get a
I
beer.
was just gonna say that. Like, if they dropped the price of beer, I guaranteed they would get people walking in that stadium way more.
Yeah.
And there's stupid limits. Like, you can't drink a beer in the fourth quarter. It's like, really, come on, man. Like, seriously, you're not gonna let me fucking drink a beer in the fourth quarter, especially if I haven't drank any. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, man. That's
And,
ridiculous.
and another thing that never really gets pointed out, I think, is that it's a lot easier to see what's going on the television because it's zoomed in on the action.
Yeah, and then you have
You know?
experts that point out shit. Now we can debate on whether or not those experts are worth the shit.
I was gonna say we can debate on whether those guys are actually experts.
Right, right. Like Phil Sims. Like watching a game with Phil Sims calling a game is. I'm so glad he's not in the booth anymore that I've seen, because he was atrocious. Collinsworth's another one that I don't like particularly much, but it's balanced with the fact that you have somebody brilliant like Al Michaels there. When Al Michaels leaves, man, that's going to be a huge gaping hole in Sunday night football for sure.
I wonder what they're gonna do because he's been doing it for a long time. It can't be much longer for him.
Yeah, it's not much longer. Dungeon Buster says, I know people that started watching more college football than NFL because it's more exciting. It definitely is. Also put everyone in plate armor. Problem solved. Plate. Yeah, nice way to bring it back to RPGs, Dungeon Buster. Yeah, I'd like to see that. The Denver Knights versus the Oakland Jesters. Yeah, that'd be cool, man. But there does need to seem to be some tweaks that they need to do. I think, another thing, there's a lot of knee injuries in the NFL. They should really make people wear knee braces no matter what, because that stabilizes the knee so that it can't be bent in ways that cause major injuries. So I know it wouldn't curb all of it, but I think making it mandatory for everybody to wear like knee braces would be a good thing. It wouldn't be a bad thing. I know it would look slightly stiffer, but they have so many great braces now for knees and elbows and all kinds of shit that I've seen people play with torn Achilles tendons. So these people are special athletes, and they needed to be treated as such.
That always blows my mind when somebody when something bad happens and they still go out there and play.
Yeah.
Or like,
I mean, even
I see it with the wrestlers too. Like, there's that one match like Triple H blew out his ACL or something.
Yeah, and he kept
and
his
he
quad.
he still kept wrestling, and then he let Jericho put him in a hold. Like, that had to be excruciating.
I saw that
painful.
match, dude. That was a great match. A great match. And he tore his quad muscle, which
quad muscle. Okay.
Yeah, he fully tore. It was
any of those muscles. Any of those leg muscles.
Yeah.
Like,
it was especially bad in that case because he tore his hamstring and his quad muscle in that match. So his entire leg was basically useless. And the amount of pain that dude was in as he was being put in that fucking Walls of Jericho of all things, dude, I was like,
for real.
Wow. But anyways, let me.
And I think that was back when Jericho when it was still kind of close to the Lion Tamer, whereas he'd put his head back when he was in WCW. It used to be like the Lion Tamer, which was a bit more brutal. It's sort of the same thing, only he bent you back farther, and he put his knee like
Yep.
on the back of your head.
Yeah, I love that
I-
move, dude. It's one of my favorites.
I did too.
One
But
of my favorites.
since I used to wrestle with friends and stuff like that, we put each other in wrestling moves and stuff. And
Figure
yeah,
four
that
leg
one
lock.
by far was we do like stuff figure fours and stuff like that. But the most painful one was Lion Tamer.
Oh man, Lion
That one,
Tamer.
like that one, always sucked if somebody put you in it. Like, oh fuck, why do you do this to me?
You know what some of my favorite moves in wrestling was the Cobra Clutch that the Iron Sheik did. I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah.
And the no, that's not the Cobra Clutch. That's the Iranian. What was it? The Iranian Hammer. I don't know, but he basically put people in like. He squatted, put their arms around his legs and pulled their neck back. Basically, is what.
Okay,
he did
that's
there.
not a Cobra Clutch.
No,
I
the
don't
Cobra
think.
Clutch was
'Cause that-
what's his name's favorite move, and I love that one too. Those were my two favorites, other than all the whole leg drops and shit like that.
Really? Because Freak 5Cast says your favorite wrestling move is the Western Grip,
How dare you?
and MXT says it's the Camel Clutch.
Yeah,
Okay. Oh, that's for Iron Sheik. Yeah, Iron Sheik.
Camel Clutch was the Iron Sheik. Yeah, MXT got it right. Yeah, Mutant League football for the
I can't
win.
remember all those old guys that wrestling or finishing moves because they had the greatest names.
Oh
when
my
for
god,
their
dude!
finishing
I
moves.
remember all of them. I used to watch Saturday Night's Main Event. I don't know if you ever watched Saturday Night's Main Event. Saturday Night's
Sometimes. See,
if
the problem with wrestling for me when I was little was I didn't get to watch all of them. I only watched some of them, so I don't remember a lot of the stuff.
Oh, dude, it had one of the best opening themes of all time, which I'll play for you here in a second. But basically, what were some of the older wrestlers that you remember, Breakman, before we end the show?
Oh, well, they're actually, he's talking about MXT, and Chad is talking about, I forgot this is MXT's thing, wrestling. He's talking about Sergeant Slaughter and Ted DiBiase. Like, I love those guys, but I was more into the 90s wrestlers myself.
You were more into the WCW era, the Attitude Era, and the WWE, right?
Yeah,
those. But here's the, it's a song, but here's the intro here. Hold on. Nah, that's not it. What the fuck is it, man? Jesus Christ! It was pretty badass.
Something's gonna explode!
They used to play Animotion. Anyways, but whatever. I remember the WWF cartoon, man. That was sweet back
that was
then.
good cartoon. And then Sergeant Slaughter was he was a really big part of G.I. Joe, actually.
Yeah, he had a big part.
Because I went back and watched it a few years ago. Like I remember Sergeant Slaughter was in it, but I didn't remember it's like he's just a time, but he was in it actually a lot.
Oh my God, Freak 5 came up with one of the greatest wrestlers of all time, in my opinion, the Junkyard Dog, dude. Oh my God, dude, when he would take that, when he would do his little dance. And then take the oh, dude, Junkyard Dog was the shit. You know who else was the shit? Coco Beware. Coco Beware was another one. All he had was a gimmick, but it was fun to watch him.
My favorite wrestler of that era was the Piper.
Roddy Piper for sure. What about Jimmy Superfly Snuka? Check this shit out, Breakman. I saw a cage match here in Denver at the Denver Coliseum, which if anybody has ever been there, it's a shit venue. It's real old school. They have like the National Western Stock Show there, and just a bunch of shit. But I saw Hulk Hogan battle Greg the Hammer Valentine in a cage match there. It was one of the coolest things ever, dude. They had the old school. I don't know if you remember the cages, Breakman, but they were like kind of these blue barred kind of cages. They're not like the fence style cages that they have now. It was awesome, man. I loved wrestling back in the day.
Yeah.
They had a bunch of good
I,
stuff.
I love when wrestling was the best for me was when WCW and WWF were basically they spent week after week just trying to outdo each other.
Oh yeah, for sure, dude.
And I thought like just the competition, and that's when my love for wrestling died. Really, is when WCW left or went out of business because there was just it was just WWF and they had nobody to compete against, and they kind of lost their
Oh
they
yeah.
They kind of lost their drive, I'd think. I'd say,
Yeah, although
I stayed long enough to see one of my favorite wrestlers finally win the championship he deserved, and once that was taken away from him, I'm like, okay, I don't need to see anymore.
Which one?
But once Chris Jericho became the undisputed world heavyweight champion,
Jericho was awesome.
That was the day of glory for me.
I love Chris Jericho. There was actually a moment in WWE history similar to that. I was talking about Saturday Night Main Event earlier. I believe it was Saturday Night Main Event where the Ultimate Warrior beat Hulk for the championship, the heavyweight championship, but he also had like the cruiserweight title. I don't know what they called it back then, but he had two titles at once, and that was the first time I ever saw a wrestler with two titles in his hands. Like the Intercontinental Championship is what he had. So he had both the Intercontinental and the Heavyweight Championship that night. It was fucking electric, dude. It was awesome. It was champion versus champion. Maybe it happened at Survivor Series or one of the pay-per-views. But
how did we go from football to wrestling? What happened? Like, these are two separate topics.
Injuries,
that we could do whole shows on.
Dude. Injuries.
Oh, injuries. Okay, yeah. Like, I want to do like a whole wrestling show now, but we were like doing football. I know.
We were all over the place, but very rarely do we get a chance to talk sports. But every once in a while it's fun.
Or sports entertainment. Like, I think Eric and Moria might be able to talk like wrestling. I don't know. Because I know like people that aren't sports fans that liked, wrestling.
Yeah.
But
let me read a little bit of chat here before we end the show. Cobra Clutch was Sergeant Slaughter. Ted.
Oh, you know what my favorite wrestling move of all time though is?
What?
My favorite wrestlers, DDP. I love the Diamond Cutter.
The Diamond Cutter. Yeah.
I love the Diamond Cutter. That move is so fucking awesome.
High five.
Yeah.
Sergeant, let's see, Ted DiBiase, the $1 Million Man.
Jim Duggan with his 2x4.
Money. Oh yeah, Hacksaw. Can't forget Hacksaw. Ho! Let's see who else. Ultimate Warrior.
Ric Flair, who's wrestled for longer than anybody ever. I don't think you can mention wrestling without mentioning Ric Flair just because of how long he's wrestled.
Dungeon Buster remembers Greg the Hammer Valentine. Sting, MXT brought up Sting. Sting was awesome, no question. Which version of Sting did you like best? I like the mullet Sting the best. Let's see.
I love the Wolfpack, but that I don't think he should have been a part of the Wolfpack at any point.
Who?
He looked cool. He looked cool in red and black, but no, I think Angry Baseball Bat Sting was probably my favorite.
Oh, the Crow Sting.
Yeah. When he came back after a long time, and he was angry, and so I think that was my favorite Sting.
Yeah. I'm gonna bring up a theme here that I haven't heard in a long ass time. I gotta hear it. Let's see. Oh, here it is. Let's see. Let's see if it's the right one. Yeah. What was your favorite theme, Breakman? Your favorite wrestling theme? Do you have
really have to think about that one. I'm not sure.
Here is my favorite. Let's see if I can find it. Yeah, here we go. It's this one right here. Remember that one, Break? God, I love that one, man. Good stuff. I love that intro. It was like the most energetic, like badass theme to me. But here's another good one. Let's see if you remember this one. God, I could go all day with these, Breakman.
I know.
I mean,
I know.
You ready?
Yeah.
Oh, I got
See,
another
now,
one.
now you're getting more into my like favorite generation of wrestling.
Yeah, I got more.
I love the Wolfpack theme. I know that. But the WWF had the better theme. So.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna say NWO. That was a great.
Yeah. Yeah. Here's another one.
Yeah, there's Wolfpack.
Yeah, it's a great one. Oh, here's one that you might recognize.
Wolfpack is back.
Here's one that you might recognize. Who's that?
Holler if you hear me.
Oh.
Wow, that's Big Papa Pump.
Yep, Papa Pump. Do you mind going a little bit longer?
No,
right.
I'm enjoying this. This looks fun.
All right, let's see if you
This
can
is
remember.
fun.
Oh, this is another great one. Let's see if you can remember this one. Hold on. Come on, do it. Oh my goodness, you don't remember that?
Damn, I know that one.
Dude,
Yeah,
it's so good.
That was a good one.
I know MXT is gonna get every single one of these. That was APA from WWE. Bradshaw and Simmons. What's his name?
Oh yeah, those were. I love those guys. Those are pretty awesome.
Yep. Okay, check out this one, dude. If you know this one, you get extra credit. Hold on. Here we go. Oh yeah. What is that? Do you remember? Does anybody
that one
remember?
is familiar too. God,
Hold on. All right, I'm gonna say one name and you'll get it. Scotty Too Hottie.
Oh, that's not who I was thinking of at all.
Dude, you don't know who that is, dude? It's
No,
too
yeah,
cool.
yeah, I know you're talking about Sky Too Hottie and his worm.
Yeah,
and
that was
Rikishi
too cool.
joined them later. I can't remember
Yeah.
their name. But that's not who I was thinking of.
All right, here's an easy one. Let me give you an easy one. Yeah, here we go. Check it.
I think I'm cute. I know I'm sexy. I've got the looks that drive.
It's a great one, man.
Yeah, that's Shawn Michaels. That one's he'd probably still come out to that today.
Yeah.
I imagine like if I was Shawn Michaels, I would use that everywhere I went.
Dungeon Buster says no love for Nikolai Volkov. No, Volkov was a beast, dude. I saw him wrestle live. He was awesome. I love Nikolai Volkov, even though he was a heel. All right, check out this one. This is the theme song to end all theme songs, man. Hang on. All right, here we go. Come on, you can do it.
I am a real American. Fight for the rights of everyone.
God, I love this one, man.
Can you play American Made next?
American.
Yeah.
Fight for what's right. Fight for your life.
I love that song, man, or that theme. That's a good one. Let's play this one. We'll play a couple more if you don't mind.
You know what my favorite Hulk theme is though.
The American made one.
No, actually, it's my favorite. His is when he came out to Hendrix.
Oh yeah, that's a great one. Here's another one.
Because that's a really good song. It's like, oh, he's coming out to Hendrix. That's pretty awesome. He had the lay on him. He's coming out there playing air guitar every time. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That was probably my favorite Hulk Hogan when he was the bad guy and like he just fucking embraced it.
Yep. MXT says GDP Wrestling Edition. Yeah, that would be fun, man. Here's another one, dude. This one's iconic, man. Who was that? That was
Sergeant Slaughter.
No, it wasn't
What?
Sergeant
That-
Slaughter.
Oh.
No, that was Macho Man Randy Savage, dude. Yeah. Let's see if this is the one that I'm thinking of. This is going.
I
a
don't
little...
remember that one. I don't remember him coming out to that one. I remember his. Anyway.
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, I liked what?
Like what?
I was gonna say I like the vampires, Gangrel and Christian
the Brood.
and Edge.
The Brood. Yeah.
The Brood. Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see if I can find this one. Hang on. Oh, let's see if this is the one I'm thinking of. Yeah, I think it might be. Yeah. This is it. This is an awesome one, man. You come out to this every time. I saw Ricky Steamboat wrestle. God, that was a great entrance theme, man.
I'm trying to. There's another WWF, like, I guess late WWF, early WWE.
Yeah.
It came from the ECW. Had a really badass theme too. Fuck, what was his name?
Sandman? Are you thinking?
No,
Sandman?
I like the Sandman though. I like the ECW. Man.
Oh yeah, ECW was some good shit. Yeah, real fun.
What was his name? Like he was like the shorter kind of.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead. I'll play the music.
No. Go ahead, man.
I was trying. What was his name? Like he came in and he was kind of like kicking ass and stuff. Not Rob Van Dam. Not the Sandman. There were like a few other ECW
Tommy
guys.
Dreamer.
What was that guy's name?
Tommy Dreamer, maybe.
No.
No.
Yeah, Tommy Dreamer is the Sandman.
No,
Same guy.
no, not the same guy.
No, I'm sorry. Yeah, you're right. It's been a long time. Yeah, okay. My bad.
MXT would know it.
It's I know what I was thinking. Is Tommy Dreamer came out to enter the Sandman.
Oh yeah, that was cool.
That's why I was thinking that. Okay, no, not RVD. No.
Yeah.
God, what was that guy's name?
Oh, dude, here's a good one. See if you can remember this one.
Taz. That's it.
The
Yeah, I think
World
it was Taz.
Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Oh yeah, of course we got to get that. Who's that? What a rush! I will slap you, Breakman, if you don't get this.
Go
one.
ahead and slap me. I don't know. It's not coming.
Oh
on
my
end.
God, dude! One of the greatest tag teams of all time, dude. Legion of Doom. Shithead. How about this one? Let's see if you can remember this one.
The World Wrestling Federation.
After we get the
for
intro.
over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
That one's not as prominent, but it was a great tag team, dude. Do you know the tag team, by chance?
God, I've heard that theme.
I'll give you another hint. Here we go.
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary
Hold on.
force in sports entertainment.
Who's that? It's basically a variation on the first one. Do you remember that?
Mm-mm.
Oh my God, man! I'm gonna slap you. You need to get brushed up on your history, dude. That's Bret Hart, and the previous one was the Hart brothers.
Oh God, yeah. I wasn't even. I know we talked about Bret Hart earlier. I wasn't even thinking about him.
All right, check this one.
Yeah. I do remember that now.
I got a couple more. We'll play a couple more. Let's play this one. Let's see if
The World
this one's
Wrestling
any good.
Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Might not get this one. This is old school. Yeah, you might not get that one. That's Jake the Snake. But there's one more I wanted to bring. Oh, Breakman, I know you'll know this one. This is a great one. I love this one.
The World Wrestling Federation, for over 50 years, the revolutionary force in sports entertainment.
Who's that? Breakman. Oh my god, I can't believe you can't get that one, man. That's a big
Is that
WCW.
is that like an early Undertaker theme?
No, that's Psycho
No.
Sid.
Undertaker
dude.
has some badass themes.
Oh yeah, the Undertaker has great themes, but that was Psycho Sid. You remember Psycho Sid? Sid Vicious.
Oh yeah. Sid Vicious. I like Sid Vicious. Remember when he broke his leg in the ring?
What? What?
When Sid Vicious was in the WCW.
Yeah, I remember that. It was nasty.
Yeah, he like broke it in half right in the ring.
Yeah.
A friend came home like that day at work. He got off work. I was watching. He's like, "Did you see that?" I was like, "Yeah."
Yeah.
What
it was
happened?
Nasty.
Ugh.
Ugh,
Look-
God.
No, it was just nothing. It looked okay.
All right. Here we go.
I don't like that version. I like the original version. I like his WCW theme.
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
There it is.
Yeah, that was a good one, man.
Like that just seems like Doom is entering the ring right now. Like this is the fucking end. Like fuck, here he comes.
Yep. All right, check this one out, dude. This is a great one. Come on now. You can do it.
Get there.
I hope. Jesus. What the hell was that? Oh, here we go. God, that was a great gimmick, dude. That 2000, the Y2J thing. That was fucking awesome. All right, I got one more. This is because you mentioned it earlier, Gangrel, dude. That was a great theme too, man.
Yeah.
They had something
You're
good
not-
going with that.
You're not gonna do like Undertaker, because man, around that period he had a fantastic too. There you go.
God, he did have some.
That's
good
another one. Like you hear that theme, it's like shit, I'm fucked.
Yep, dum, and then it was over. Especially during WrestleMania, even though he lost the last one. That kind of sucked, man. One more. Let's see, where was it? Oh, this one. Let me see if this is.
We keep saying one more, but we don't mean it.
No, we don't. God, there's so many good ones, man.
Yeah.
Hang on. Let me see if I can find this one. This is a good. I think this is the one. Yeah. Remember this?
Corporate Ministry.
No, that was
Oh, Kane.
Kane. Yeah, Kane.
Yeah. I did, like the way it started. I thought it was the Corporate Ministry, but once it got to that part, I realized what it was.
And there's this one. God damn it. I'm having fun with this.
Time to play the game. Time to play the game.
Ah, that was the
That actually reminds. That's my favorite wrestling shirt too. Like he has back then he had the shirt that says on the front like "Game Over" and on the back it said "Damn right I'm over."
Yeah. There's some great wrestling shirts for sure. They're expensive as fuck, but damn. See if I can think of any more that you want to listen to before I wrap things up.
You never played American Made for me. at any
Oh,
point.
American Made. Okay, hang on one second. American Made. Hulk Hogan. Yeah, that's a good one, man. I loved all of his intros, man.
Yeah.
He's American made.
Yeah, that was a good one. You know, one I didn't like was The Undertaker when he did that biker thing. I didn't like that one as much. It wasn't.
Oh,
as
yeah,
intense.
I know. I remember the biker fate. That was when he was coming out to Kid Rock, right?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, yeah, that was not good.
All right, check this one out, dude. This one, I love this one.
Me too.
Oh God, that was the best, dude. That right there, Dude Love, man. That look. Let's listen. Let's let this one breathe a little bit.
That was my favorite one of his. That one and Cactus Jack.
Oh, Cactus Jack was great. Great.
But man, I was never like the big fan of Mankind.
Oh, I like Mankind.
Personally, Mankind was alright, but it's just like I liked it wasn't as fun as what he'd done
Dude,
before with like.
You remember
Like
that?
he went kind of like he was kind of like a little bit darker with Mankind, whereas with Dude Love and Cactus Jack, he was like all about having fun, and it's like yes, like I like Mick Foley like this.
I like when they introduced Mankind back into the fold, Mick Foley, because he was a little bit darker. He had a little bit more of an edge, and he battled with the Undertaker and Kane, and that was a good storyline. But I like the storyline with Dude.
Remember when he teamed up with The Rock?
Yeah,
Rock and
I
Sock
do.
connection.
Rock and Sock,
that was good.
Yeah.
You didn't. You know what? You didn't play the Rock's theme. Now that we even think about it. Now that I mention it.
Smell what the Rock is cooking.
That's a great start to a song.
Yeah, that's good. But I do you remember there was a storyline with Vince and Dude Love, and Dude Love gave Mick Foley like a set of choppers, like dentures, and he was like perfect. He was dressed up like in a suit and had perfect teeth, and it was just the opposite of what Mankind was when he brought him out. I don't know if you remember that, but it was pretty fucking cool. Let's see if I can find another one here. Oh yeah, this is the one right here.
Dead man walking.
Yeah, the Rollin' one I didn't like. That was Limp Bizkit. There was another one. Let's see if I can find. Oh,
Limp Bizkit. I was thinking. Well, then who was coming out to Kid Rock? Who was that?
Undertaker. Hang on.
Oh, okay.
Got it.
Lay me down to sleep. Lay me down. I pray my soul is mine to keep. My soul and never step outside this bed. Never into all evil. Now back from the dead.
Are you scared?
Yeah. Yeah, I didn't like that one. I didn't like the Kid Rock one at all, but there was another one here I was gonna bring up. Where the fuck is it? Jesus Christ. Can't fucking find it. No. Oh, here it is. Here's the one. This one's iconic too, man. I know you'll know this one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who's that?
That's Austin.
Yeah, Stone Cold. But yeah, there was some. What other one didn't I do that you want to listen to? Break.
Shit. I can't think of any right now.
Let's end on a high note with this one, man. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. Here we go. Let's see if I can find it. Where is it at? Here we go.
There you go.
Dude, there never was a moment in wrestling that I didn't love more than when Hulk Hogan turned heel in the WCW, dude. I thought that was so well done. The only thing that I can think of that would match it nowadays would be a John Cena heel turn, which I don't think they would ever do because he's got too many people.
Most of my favorite moments were Jericho related.
Yeah. Oh, Jericho was awesome.
Jericho griefing motherfuckers like that. He was so good at it.
Yeah. Jericho was awesome, man. He's great on the mic. But
Yeah.
all right, man. I think that's gonna do it for today. Any plugs you want to get to before we end the show, man?
Oh, and DDP matches, like I just absolutely.
Oh,
love
wait.
Amazing.
DDP. Oh, hold on.
Oh yeah, he didn't do his theme. What the hell?
Hold on.
I'm walking off the show.
How dare you?
Self high five.
Yeah, that was a good one, dude. That sounded
Yeah,
like Nirvana's.
Yeah, him and Raven came out to basically Nirvana themes.
Yeah. Good stuff, man. All right, plugs, bud.
You can follow me at RPGrinders, and you can follow me at break_man, where you can complain about the Bengals with me and just how bad they are, stuff like that.
Dude, I have a feeling that Denver's in for an ass whooping this week, dude, with the Cowboys coming into town. But you never know. We'll see.
The Bengals are playing Green Bay next week, and in 2 games have yet to score a touchdown.
Yeah.
Not looking promising.
Yeah.
Let me see. We're gonna go play against Aaron Rodgers in his home stadium.
Oh,
awesome!
My goodness, that's gonna be awful. What was the final score of the Texans game, man?
13-9. Yeah, 9.
Ooh, ouch.
Yeah, I knew it was gonna be a low scoring game just because these are 2 teams that have better defenses than offenses. But still, like, you can't even score a touchdown. Like, that's pretty sad.
Yeah, that sucks, man. All right, dude.
This isn't high school football where that stuff happens, But 2 games you can't score a touchdown.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, dude. It's sad, dude. I think.
And like I said, they're not. I doubt seriously they're moving on from Marvin Lewis anytime soon.
Ugh.
Even the only way they'd do that, I think, is if this team went 0-16.
Win that Super Bowl.
I know. I said I kind of hope for that just for things to change. It's sad, and like I don't want to say that, but I kind of do. Stuff needs to change.
Yeah.
And if there needs to be some push for things to change.
Win that Super Bowl, Breakman. Win that Super Bowl.
Oh, that's right. That's what'll get him fired. Fuck, I forgot.
Yeah, dude. All right, dude. Plugs.
I just did them.
All right. My plugs are as follow Eric on Twitter at EricRPG. Follow Mug on Twitter at MoriaMug, MOR. Oh no, he's not on Twitter anymore.
What's his excuse this week? I missed it.
Oh, he has car troubles, man. He had to fix the brakes today, and the only appointment he could get was today. So.
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah, he works. He doesn't work on the weekend, so that's when he has to get shit done sometimes. So no worries
Gotcha.
there. Thank you everybody in chat. Freak 5 Chaos, Dungeon Buster, MXT was a fun little wrestling, sports, football, concussions, boxing episode of RP Grinders. From time to time, we don't do politics, so I don't think I did one political story today, except maybe the Facebook stuff, but. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Let us know if you did on Twitter at RPGrinders. Which
I think MXT did. At least one person did.
Yeah. Our 3 listeners in chat. No, we do have quite a few listeners on the.
No, the other 2 have been really quiet. It's just been MXT since the wrestling thing started.
Yeah, I know. We probably turned off half of our audience with the wrestling talk, but man, if you're listening and you want to give us a shout out and let us have your comment on the show be heard, follow us on Twitter at RPGrinders. We love to get feedback on Twitter. If you have a favorite wrestling theme that I didn't play that you want me to mention, let us know. If there's an RPG you're looking forward to, any video game related stuff, follow us on Twitter at RPGrinders and Breakman at Break_man. Those will get to us, and we'll say them on the air. Again, thanks to the chatters and the archivers. I know you're listening, and it means a lot. So the chatters. I'm giving you the peace sign, man. You guys rock it out every week. Dungeon Buster, MXT. Freak 5, of course. Make sure you listen to Freak 5 show Zombies Anonymous. They talk all things horror. A lot of zombie stuff in there. Walking Dead's coming up, so they're gearing up for a big season on Zombies Anonymous. Pittsburgh Nerd Podcast. He's awesome. Pittsburgh Nerd.
Are they doing Fear the Walking Dead?
They're doing Fear the Walking Dead.
Okay.
They're doing anything zombie related and horror related. They got a good show, man. You should check it out. Let's see what else. I think that's it. Oh, you can follow me.
He said no.
No, they don't do anything else.
We can't
Let's see. You can follow me on Twitter at Frank Branches if you want to just troll me like most people do on Twitter. That's my Twitter, and that's where I'm at mostly. Birthday shout out to Bridget Barnes. She was in chat last week. She has her birthday today, so I want to say happy birthday to you. What else? We're starting to gain a little bit of traction on YouTube. I've noticed quite a few more viewers. I wish more people.
They need to send us some tweets so we can do like the Would You Rathers and such.
Oh yeah, if you have a Would You Rather, make sure you send them. Freak 5 usually sends us Would You Rathers, but if you have an excruciating Would You Rather or anything fun like that, send it to us. If there's a topic you want us to talk about, anything RPG related, politics, UFOs, whatever, let me know and we'll make sure and make it a part of the show at some point. What else? I don't think there's anything else, Breakman. Oh, stay safe.
No, but he said they're not doing Fear the Walking Dead, and he said he didn't even realize it was starting again tomorrow.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, that's how much he knows because the premiere was actually last Sunday.
Well, Fear the Walking Dead kind of sucks anyways, man. I'm not...
like I said to him, it has its moments, but
Yeah.
most of the there's some bad characters.
Yeah.
Like the one of the main characters, I think most of the main characters really kind of suck.
Yeah, none of those characters I felt any attachment to. Like
especially the blonde woman whose name I can never get right.
Yeah. All right.
She is terrible, and a lot of the show centers around her. So
yeah. All right, dude. That's gonna wrap it up for this week. Everybody out there, have a safe, great weekend. Good boxing
Madison.
match.
Her name's Madison.
Oh, Madison. Yeah.
Yeah. She sucks, but whenever her character dies will be too soon. Not soon enough, I mean. Not soon enough. She could die sometimes.
She's a good actress.
But like I've said a million times, I think they are building towards like somebody being a villain, and if they're gonna make her like into a main villain, like a governor, then okay.
Yeah.
But for the most part, she just sucks.
Yeah. I haven't kept up with the latest season of Fear because
he said he wanted to watch them all, but his co-host didn't. They quit. So
yeah.
maybe I can be on his show sometime. We can talk about that.
Oh, look at that.
We can all talk about how bad it is.
Yeah. And then it's Mug's turn to be on Zombies Anonymous, and then I'm left out in the cold as always. No. Look, just have a great, safe weekend this weekend, guys. Great boxing match tonight. If you are semi-curious, try to watch this boxing match and tell me what you think of boxing in general. Any sports-related things, Break and I are the sports kind of people, kind of, sort of. So, yeah. Stay safe this weekend. We want to see you back here next week. Till then, we're out. Peace, guys. Thanks, chat. Appreciate it. I think we made a record. Longest show ever for RPGrinders with 2 hosts.
No, because remember we did that whole day show?
Oh, yeah.
I was there for most of it.
Yeah, you were. All right, guys in chat, thank you so much. I think today was a fun show despite not having half the crew here. But we'll probably be back in full force next week. I've been exiled from ZA apparently. I don't know what I did.
I was asking him what you did. I want to know. But yeah, I got to get going.
Yeah. All right, guys in chat, thank you so much. Really, really appreciate it. I'll have this episode up sooner than later. You guys take care. Peace. We're out. All right, a break. We're out.